Dave, I'm just ready to go. I mean, you sat here all last season, was a little bit shaky with high school sports, and thankfully kids were able to go out there and play in the football season, but there were cancellations, there were delays, and then there was the whole off season, right? And there's so much waiting and sitting around, and you start watching for spring practice, and then there's a stop, and then you start summer practice, and it seems like you get 100 days or so away, and it seems like a million years. And this past week, Dave, it's just dragged by, and all of a sudden, finally, you're here, you're ready to go. And my thoughts are just, I'm ready to go, Dave. As a fan of the game, as a fan of Oak Ridge, as a guy that's watched countless games at Blankenship Field, it doesn't get old. Although the one thing, Dave, I know I'm a little bit cranky about this every year. Oak Ridge is in the home uniforms, but they're in their gray today. What are your thoughts on those?
I would be the old guy saying that, I don't like gray, but, they are our school colors. I prefer the Cardinal, to be honest with you, but, they're the ones playing on the football team. It's their team. It's their year. Let them wear whatever they want, and I'm sure Coach Gaddis conferred with the seniors, and they probably said, let's go with the grays, and that's what they are doing here tonight. And we're about to get set here. The Wildcats will be kicking. If you're looking from the press box from left to right, the place kicker, Brendan Pearson, he's going to get the start. He is going to do a lot of the place kicking duties along with Efren Rodriguez, who had a great second half of the year a year ago. They've got a fine back in the person of Sean Gary. I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about him. The Oak Ridge student section making a lot of noise. The crowd is beginning to roar, and we're about to have football for you here from Blankenship Field. The Wildcat band making noise, and here we go, here from Blankenship. Pearson with the ball down on the tee, and here is his kick. He hits it high, hits it long. It's going to be fielded at the goal line, and that is a touchback. So a great start for the Wildcats. If you remember last year, Alex, the Wildcats popped up most of their kicks because they really weren't able to get the ball in the end zone. The South-Doyle Cherokees will take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
And, David, speaking of that, that's something I noticed in pre-games was, last year Preston Turner was kind of a do-it-all guy on special teams. He was a cornerback, but he would kind of rugby kick it. Oak Ridge had a couple of guys warming up in punt formations that were booming it. So I think that's a welcome sign. Not that Preston did a great job, but to have that sort of formal punt formation back there looked good in warm-ups. But, Dave, here we go. Play number 1 of the season.
Quarterback for the South-Doyle Cherokees is Nick Martin. He is 6'4", 210-pound senior. Their running back, as I mentioned, is 6'1", 189-pounder Sean Gary. First down, 10 yards to go. They're back to Jackson Square, and eventually we'll have football. The officials waiting for the signal from the sideline. I believe the clock is functioning. There's 1 second off the clock. And here in a moment, we'll finally have high school football. The crowd continues to file in. We still have a light rain falling here. I mean, ever so light. I mean, it is not falling hard at all, but there is a bright sun in the sky. But for whatever reason, Alex Myers, we have a delay here.
We do, and this is reminiscent exactly 2 years ago when they first brought the scoreboard in, the new kind of Jumbotron, big screen, if you will. They had an issue on the first play as well, and I don't know that this has anything to do with that one, but it looks like we're ready to go. So after a little bit of delay, they're just building suspense.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 20-yard line. Man comes in motion. Quarterback to pass, dumps it out of the backfield. The pass is caught up the sidelines and moving for a first down and more, and finally tackled at around the Oak Ridge, actually the South-Doyle 45-yard line. Fine play, just a little swing pass out of the backfield, caught by Sean Gary. First down, 10 yards to go for the South-Doyle Cherokees.
It was quick moving offense here. Brian Kelly on the tackle.
Moving across the line, that's going to be a 5-yard step off. So one thing that we're going to see with the Oak Ridge offense, Alex, is a fast-tempo, up-tempo offense. South-Doyle, who just tried to pound it on Oak Ridge last year, obviously is going to change their game plan. They pick up 5 yards on that penalty, and they've got the ball right at midfield, the nose of the ball at midfield. First down on their first play. Let's see what they can do on their second. Moving away from Jackson Square, scoreless game just underway. Blankenship Field, Oak Ridge, and South-Doyle. Quarterback will pass. Little screen pass is caught. It's intercepted, Oak Ridge, and he's taking it to the house. Touchdown, Wildcats!
What a play by Peyton Sharp. A smart play is, Dave, the play before they did a swing, almost a swing screen out to Sean Gary. That play almost is the exact same, except instead of going to the back, it went to the running back. Both plays were kind of slow in development. A lineman nearly got their hand on the first one. That time Peyton knew it was coming, and boy, from our angle up here in the press box, David, it doesn't get prettier than that. What a play from Peyton on the corner position.
And the kick is up, and it's good. 7-0 Oak Ridge. 11:21 to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Wildcats, and we'll be back to Blankenship Field in 90 seconds.
You good?
Pearson's kick goes into the end zone. Pearson being Cherokees from the 20.
Couldn't have started any better. The Wildcats with a 7-0 lead. Their offense hasn't taken the field. Back out on the field, the South-Doyle offense. First down, 10 yards to go, starting at the 20. Handoff goes to Gary. He breaks a couple tackles and is pushed down at around the 24-yard line. It'll be a gain on the play. What a big play. Think about that. Peyton Sharp getting his very first start ever as a Wildcat. He's been a quarterback, the last 2 years for Oak Ridge. But tonight, though, he just picks off the pass, playing a new position for him, and takes it in. Couldn't have started any better. The Wildcats with a big touchdown. I'll come back to you in a moment. 10:52 to play first quarter. It'll be a gain of 4 on the play. Second down, 6 yards to go for the South-Doyle Cherokees. The ball at the 24-yard line. Martin the pass. Goes across the way. Pass is incomplete. There's some pushing and shoving. Could have been a flag there. The Wildcats had a little bit of contact, but no call. What a big start for the Wildcats.
A tremendous start. Couldn't have asked for anything better, especially, we talked about where their nerves for Oak Ridge's quarterback that's making his first start. Well, that's a great way to ease those nerves, Dave, is by giving him a 7-0 cushion before he even touches the field. Defense playing with a lot of energy. Really, after that interception, I'm surprised we haven't seen 2 or 3 straight runs here from Clark Duncan's offense, because Sean Gary hadn't really been stopped the 2 or 3 times he's touched.
Here comes the blitz. There's a pass to the sideline. The pass is going to be complete for a first down. They move the ball up close to the 36-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. 10 minutes, 33 seconds to play. We're in the first quarter. 7-0 Wildcats. Oak Ridge and South-Doyle playing for only the second time in school history. The quarterback, as I mentioned, is Nick Martin, 6'4", 210-pound senior. Did not throw the ball all that much against Oak Ridge in the semifinal round game a year ago. First down 10 for the Cherokees. The ball at the 34, as I mentioned. Quarterback's giving it off to number 13. He's going to be tracked down by Jacob Burvin at around the 38-yard line. Gain on the play, but not much of one. Jacob Burvin returns for the Wildcats, the leading tackler of the last couple of years, and it's good to have a steady linebacker playing for the Wildcats this year, and he makes the stop.
And one of the better linebackers really in all of East Tennessee statistically. He's a smart, headsy guy. Really showed it. He's not the biggest, kind of girthiest linebacker, if you will, but he has some speed. He showed it that time, Dave. The lateral quickness paid off.
Quarterback will pitch it out to Gary. He turns the corner, and he's going to be breaking a tackle, hitting the sideline, moving the ball into Oak Ridge territory up to around the 43-yard line of the Wildcats before he's finally pushed down. Brian Kelly there near on the stop of the Wildcats, along with, it looked like perhaps Jaw Huntley. We'll talk more about him, I'm sure, tonight, one of the transfers from West. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is in Oak Ridge territory now at the 43-yard line. Already I can see a difference in their offense. They just tried to pound Oak Ridge last year, and with Huntley back there, Gary back there, I'm not so surprised about that, but now they're trying to mix in the pass a bit. First and 10. He's going to hand it off. There's a big hole and a tackle made by Oak Ridge. Barely got him down. He hit the hole real quick. The Wildcats were there with Bourbon right in the middle. And then I think Jaden Williams was also there on the stop. It's a gain on the play. It'll be second down facing South-Doyle.
Their big running back just went out, and Dave, you got to take advantage as a defense. If you haven't seen him run the ball, I would put it this way: if you ever played football, he's the kind of guy you don't want to tackle when it's cold, Dave. He runs angry. He punishes you. The first guy has not brought him down yet.
Handoff goes to the running back. He breaks another tackle, moves the ball, great yardage, moves the ball up the field, battling his way all the way to the sideline inside what appears to be the 15-yard line, where it'll be first down, 10 yards to go. He is powerful, Alex Myers. He just lowered his shoulder and he just kept the legs driving, and it's first and 10. So the Cherokee offense on the move here against the Wildcats. 8:15 to play first quarter, with the Wildcats in the lead by a score of 7-0.
The scariest part, Dave, that was Tawan Owens. They gave Sean Gary a breather right there, so now he's got a breath of fresh air, and now he's back in with fresh legs.
Ball is at the 13-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go. This time Gary does get the call. He moves the ball and he's tackled it around the 5-yard line, tripped up there. Their offensive line, most of it is back from a year ago, and they are powerful. They are opening up some holes for the backs to run. The Wildcats in the lead, 7-0. It is now second down, 2 yards to go. Moving fast to the Cherokees. Once again, Martin brings him up. Here comes the snap to Gary. Gary bounces into the end zone. Touchdown, South-Doyle. So the Cherokees have their first touchdown of the 2021 season. It comes with 7:25 to play in the first period, and they'll go for the extra point.
Dave, that just looked too easy, and the problem is with that tempo, obviously you got a power back pounding at you 8-9 plays on that drive. Your defensive line, your front seven gets tired, but because they're running so quickly between plays, Oak Ridge doesn't have a chance to substitute, and they were just not as fresh at the end there. Not good.
And the kick is on its way. It's up, and it's good. So both teams have scored. The Wildcats and Cherokees. 7:25 to play first quarter. 7-7 our score. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds. The Wildcats will drop back, I believe, the Jarvis Dozier back to receive the kick, and he's standing on the opposite side of Jackson Square and standing it around the goal line, and the South-Doyle Cherokees about to kick off. Alex, I don't remember doing a ball game with you last year. I'll come back and ask you about this, your thoughts on the way the improvement of Blankenship Field looks as the ball is put down and South-Doyle's about to kick off once again. And here it is. It's short. It's going to be angling off towards the Oak Ridge sideline. It's going to be fielded by Oak Ridge and returnable. Up the field comes Oak Ridge, moving the ball to around the 27-yard line is John Huntley, transfer from West High School. Alex, good to see Jaw out there. It's spelled J-A-I, a fantastic player for the West High Rebels a year ago. Decided he wanted to be a Wildcat. Now onto the field for the first time will come the Oak Ridge offense. You mentioned that Tarwater probably settled down after the Wildcats scored, but he's got to be still a little bit nervous.
Oh, there's no doubt coming down here in front of this big crowd that has continued to file in. But you know what? I wouldn't be shocked if Oak Ridge gave him either a quick swing pass, something easy, or just a little handoff just to kind of settle those nerves. I wouldn't expect a deep shot here on play number one, but Dave, looks like he's making some adjustments at the line.
From the 27-yard line, the handoff goes to the running back, and moving the ball is the Jarvis Dozier, and he is met right around the 30-yard line. He had an outstanding freshman campaign a year ago, did not move up with the varsity after his season, but was able to just amass really, really big yardage. He is playing tonight instead of Kendall Jackson, who was injured in the Maryville scrimmage, but I'm looking forward to see what the Javas can do. Tarwater looking in from the sidelines. Rodney Ellison is the new offensive coordinator. The Wildcats taking a little time at the line of scrimmage. The junior quarterback has the play. He has two receivers to his right, two to the left. Hayden's going to pass. Pass is going to be caught. Complete. Up to around the 34-yard line. A really, really nice pass. The catch is made by the Wildcats, number 17. That is Jaden Williams, 5'8", 150-pounder. It'll be for the Wildcats as they come to the line, which is the 36. They're also moving quick. Third down, 2 yards to go.
There's some confusion out with the wideouts, Dave. You don't want to snap before your offense is ready.
Three stack on the line of scrimmage, and they jump off sides, and that's going to give Oak Ridge their first 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down of the year, and it comes on a penalty. So the cadence by Hayden Tarwater. The Wildcats step the penalty yardage is stepped off. The Wildcats up to the 41. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge. 6:03 to play. First quarter, 7-7 is our score. New offensive coordinator is Rodney Ellison. Three-stack receivers to the left of the quarterback, Hayden Tarwater. He drops back in the shotgun. One lone receiver to the right, has the snap, has time, dumps it. Nice pass. Brandon Hayward, he's at the 48-yard line. Nice play, set up nicely by the Wildcats. They stack the receivers on the left, but they hit Brandon Hayward. It'll be a fine gain. It'll be second down facing the Wildcats with 5:35 to play. Gain of 7 on the play.
They had Zach Snyder, the right tackle, out there blocking 8 yards downfield, showing some athleticism from this lean but veteran offensive line.
Second down, 3 yards to go. Tarwater operating with the ball at his 47-yard line, moving towards Jackson Square. Bad snap over his head, has to fall on it, back at the 39-yard line. Those are the kind of mistakes you would kind of expect from a new quarterback. That's a big loss for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you hate to see that after you start to get a little bit of momentum. Now it's third down and a long 12. You got to think in a situation like this, if you're Rodney Ellison, Oak Ridge's new offensive coordinator, you want to try to get the yardage, of course, but you also don't want to put your young quarterback, inexperienced quarterback, in a position where he tries to force something and potentially makes a mistake.
Third down, 12 yards to go. He is going to pass. He's going to go deep. Now he's going to run it. He's going to be dropped at the line of scrimmage, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt. Good coverage down the field, obviously, by the Cherokees. They didn't want to throw it into danger. They just kind of had to eat the ball. Might have gained a yard. At most, actually, they're going to say he lost a yard. It's 4th and 14, and the Wildcats will be forced to punt. 7-7 our score, 4:19 and counting here in the first quarter.
And as the Wildcats, David will bring in their punter. It's Jacob Irvin. He and Brian Kelly, both the linebackers, capable punters, were the two guys I mentioned in warm-ups that, A, they're athletic if there's ever a fake situation, but they're both back there. Either one of them lined up side by side can punt this ball.
Here comes Jacob's punt. He gets a good one away. It's going to go bounding. It's going to roll inside all the way down to the 5-yard line and kicked, I believe, by the Wildcats into the end zone. The Wildcats had it all the way inside the 5 and then kicked it into the end zone. They would have backed up the Cherokees inside the 5-yard line. Big mistake there by the Wildcat special teams.
Yeah, and the frustrating part, you can hear the fans groan below us, is that it was unnecessary because the ball was not going to make it to the goal line. All that Oak Ridge had to do is their upbacks that were sprinting down there would just kind of get between the goal line and the ball and just stand there and let it hit them and stop it, because it wasn't going to roll to the end zone, I don't think. Instead, they both rushed down there. They were trying to make a play, but they were a little over-aggressive, and they just ran into the ball, and somebody kicked it. And because of that, it's about a 15 yards worth of damage that it did as South-Doyle will start their third drive of the game from the 20-yard line.
7-7 is our score. First down, 10 yards to go, and play is halted on the field. Official comes in. Let's see what they're going to do. They're going to say an encroachment call. Official comes over to talk to the referee and see if somebody lined up offsides. They kind of pointed towards Oak Ridge. It's going to be an official's timeout and no flag. And they'll start the play in a moment. Skies are getting dark once again here at Blankenship Field. Hopefully we've seen the last of the rain. We're getting a new player in the ball game, Damon Marble, 6', 170-pounder. They got one receiver to the left. In the backfield, they still have Sean Geary, 6'1" player. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the South-Doyle 20-yard line. And it's going to be Gary getting the handoff, and he's tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nice play there defensively by Oak Ridge. Stop is made by Oak Ridge, I believe, Price Davis. 3 minutes, 29 seconds to play first quarter. Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball at the 20-yard line. Curtis Young, 6', 210-pound senior, comes into the ball game. 7-7 our score, 3:15 to play in the first quarter. Getting dark once again here, Alex, as the Cherokees come to the line. Nick Barton at quarterback. Once again, the backfield split behind him. He's got two receivers to his right. He wants to pass, has all day, goes and cranks it down the field long. Jaden Williams can't catch up with it. It's incomplete. Jaden's feet got tangled up with Tyquan Stewart, the intended receiver. It's a no call, and it's third down and 10 yards to go.
And even if that was called, I'm going to tell you right now, Dave, it wasn't catchable. Oak Ridge's defender didn't fall, and it was still about 8 yards over his head. This is where you really got to take advantage of what you've done, the work you've put in on first and second down, Dave. If South-Doyle gets the ball 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, that's where you don't want to be because Sean Gary on the ground is a total threat. At 3rd and 10, more than likely they're going to have to go to the air, which is not their strength. You got to take advantage of it right here.
From the 20-yard line, a low snap. The handoff goes to number 5, Ryan Kelly and company, dropping it around the 22-yard line, and the punt team should come onto the field for the Cherokees. Much better job defensively that time. They went to the short side of the field, the Oak Ridge sideline. The Wildcats snuffed out the play. It's 4th down and they'll punt.
Yeah, I don't really understand what the thought process is in that call, Dave. 3rd and 10, if you're gonna run the ball, I would go with Gary, but I don't think you run the ball, especially not a sweep like that to the short side of the field. Oak Ridge has got the advantage, the leverage already because of that. I don't quite get that.
Quarterback Nick Martin is in punt formation, standing back at the 5-yard line. Their first punt's a good snap. Here's the pressure. It's high. It's very short. Very, very short. Their catch is signaled for and made by Brandon Hayward at the midfield stripe. Exactly 2:09 to play here in the first quarter in a 7-7 ball game. And the Wildcat offense will come onto the field. Once again, Hayden Tarwater. They had a very spirited battle for the quarterback position. Hayden Tarwater and Peyton Sharp in the offseason. Peyton got a lot of snaps in the early going, Alex, because Hayden, a member of the Oak Ridge basketball team, broke his wrist during some summer ball, and he missed a great deal early part. And Peyton really played well, I thought, in the preseason, but Hayden comes on and gets the starting nod. He's back out on the field, leading the Wildcats. The ball directly at the 50-yard line. 2:09 to play first quarter. 7-7 the score. The Wildcats have, looks like Grayson Hope in the backfield for the Wildcats. Handoff goes straight up the middle. Good running room. That's Hundley. Hundley moves the ball for a gain of about 5. Good-looking running back from West High School. Kind of ate up the Wildcats when we played him his freshman year, and I'm glad that he's a Wildcat wearing our colors now. Quick snap goes, and the handoff goes once again to Hundley. He powers his way right behind the center, moving the ball across the 45 up to around the 43-yard line. Will it be for Oak Ridge? 3rd down and short. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. 97 seconds to play. The Wildcats going fast.
I'd run it again, Dave.
Tarwater looks at a blitz and let's see. Coach Ellison signals in a new play. Hundley in the backfield along with Hope. We're down to 1:24 and counting. 3rd down, 3 yards to go at the South-Doyle 43-yard line. Receivers left and right. Hayden's going to pass. Fires a pass. It's going to be incomplete. And then a kind of a later hit. I don't think they're going to call a late hit, but it was intended for Jaden Williams. Hit him in the hands. Couldn't make the play. It's 4th down. And the Wildcats, I assume, will bring the punt team onto the field.
They are. Coach Ellison looked like he didn't want to do it, but I think in this spot, with this sort of game, it's been kind of a little bit of a defensive struggle after the first couple possessions. I think you got to just try to do what you did last time and maybe get a redo and try to pin them back deep this time. And Dave, Oak Ridge's offense had sputtered a little bit, but when they've run between the tackles, they've been able to have some success. I wonder if they may try that next time they get the ball. Let's see if they can pin them back this time.
4th down, 3 yards to go. Jacob Bourbon's going to punt. High knuckleball kicks, and it's going to go bounding once again. Going to go this time down at around the 8-yard line, and that is where South-Doyle will take over. Wildcats punting so far has been pretty good. I mean, it would have been better if the ball had been kicked in the end zone. We're down to 1:06 to play after some fireworks in the first couple moments of this ball game. The defenses have kind of settled in.
Yeah, with the pace these guys are, both offenses are running with very little huddling or time wasted between snaps, Dave. If I'm not mistaken, which I could be, but I think this is the 9th overall possession of this first quarter. Dave, this game, it's not going by fast, but I'm telling you what, these guys are getting their reps in.
Ball's at the 8-yard line. South-Doyle moving away from Jackson Square. 1:06 to play first quarter. 7-7 the score. Nick Martin, a quarterback, hands it to his running back, and he is hit, he is dropped, he is slung down to Blankenship Field. Big penetration that time by Oak Ridge, and it'll be no gain on the play. Might have even lost a yard or so.
Buddy, Grayson Hope came in like a rocket that time. He fought off a block and just absolutely met Sean Gary before he could get that momentum, and that's what you got to do with a big, powerful back like that. If he gets ahead of steam, it's hard to bring him down with one guy, but it made him kind of sidestep because of the pressure he put on. He wasn't able to get going downhill. Great individual effort by Grayson.
Loss of 2 on the play, second down, 12 yards to go. Martin brings him up, 24 seconds and counting here in the first quarter in a 7-7 ball game. He wants to pass, floats it down the way at the sideline. Pass is batted away by the Wildcats. No flags down. Oh, a late flag I thought was going to come in. I didn't see it fall, but I guess it was. There was a little contact there between the Wildcat defensive back and I believe they were going to call probably pass interference. That defensive back there is Izzy Mitchell. He did not know until today that he was going to get the start. He is 5'6". He's a 135-pound sophomore. One of the player that was going to be starting in that position, unfortunately got caught by the contact tracing and was unable to start. So Izzy gets the start. So the ball's moved up to the 21-yard line where it is first down, 10 yards to go. So an unfortunate penalty there gives them the first down. Hand off to the running back, and he busts through the secondary, runs over his own man, and still is spinning forward, and then finally knocked down by Jacob Bourbon, and that will be the final play, I believe, of the first quarter. He is so powerful, Alex Myers.
He's very powerful. He ran over his own guy that time. 5 seconds left. They're a fast offense, but I think they're going to take this one to the house for the quarter, Dave. A lot of fireworks early on, but things have slowed down, although it looks like South-Doyle is trying to snatch some momentum, Dave.
Take a quick break here. We're at Blankenship Field, opening game of the 2021 Oak Ridge High School football season. 7-7 is our score. We'll be back at Blankenship Field in 2 minutes. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, along with Matthew Charles, Alex Waraksa doing camera work, along with Neil Patel. We got Grant Walters in the booth, Mark and Shauna Hayes doing our statistical work. Brian Bennett back at the studios of FM 92.7. Kind of a fun first quarter, lots of fireworks as we said. 7-7 is our score. The offense has been dominated by the South-Doyle Cherokees. The Wildcats' lone touchdown coming on defense. Alex, your thoughts on the first quarter?
Well, my thoughts are, Dave, it's, obviously you love to see what you saw out of the defense there. Coach Miner's defense is always ready to go. But I'm a little bit concerned that if South-Doyle doesn't, I think sometimes in the modern day game, offenses can kind of try to outsmart themselves and overthink things. And it looked like early on that's what they were doing, trying to get the passing game going. The past few drives, though, they've just been feeding Sean Gary between the tackles. And really Oak Ridge, aside from a couple plays here and there, has really not had an answer. So I'm a little bit concerned defensively that Oak Ridge is going to have to try to figure out a way to get them in second, third, and longs to try to alleviate the fact that they're trying to use Gary so much. And, of course, offensively for the Wildcats, you'd like to see them, even if they don't score next time they get the ball, at least flip the field, get a few drives together, get some momentum and confidence for that young quarterback.
First down, 10 yards to go, opening play of the second quarter. Once again, Nick Martin is the quarterback for the Cherokees, now heading towards Jackson Square. He's going to pass, a little quick pass to his sideline is going to be caught and move the ball to around the 48-yard line. It is a completion, and it'll be for the Cherokees, a gain on the play. Knocked out of bounds by the Wildcats' Jaden Williams. Good to have Jaden back playing for the Wildcats. He was injured most of the preseason, missed most of the season a year ago with an injury. And good to have him back. Gain of 6 on the previous play. It's now second down, 4 yards to go, 11:54 to play here in the first half. Martin's going to pass. A little quick pass is going to be caught. And the stop is made out there by the Wildcats, but not before they move the ball to the 46-yard line. Stop out there by the Wildcats. Number 10, Price Davis for the Wildcats, and one other Wildcat. First down, 10 yards to go.
Dave, Oak Ridge has not been able to get a lot of pressure on the few occasions that they've really tried to throw the ball for South-Doyle. They get the ball out pretty quick. They do a good job. They don't necessarily haven't taken a bunch of deep shots, but because of the way their offensive line's playing and how quickly they're getting the ball out, really their quarterback hasn't been under a lot of stress yet.
7-7 our score. First down 10 at the Wildcat 45-yard line. South-Doyle. Handoff goes straight up the middle to the running back, trying to bounce outside, and he's going to be finally pushed back by the Wildcats on a nice hard tackle by Jaden Williams, but he moves the ball to the 40-yard line. He is so powerful. The Wildcats are getting him at the line of scrimmage, but he just bounces off. So powerful are those legs.
Well, Dave, it just the best way to describe it is he looks like one of those guys that's 2 or 3 years graduated from high school playing against high schoolers. I mean, he's a senior, and boy, he has put in a lot of work in the weight room over the past few years. He's just one of the stronger guys Oak Ridge will see all year.
They handed off to him this time, but he is stacked up. They tried a little bit of a delay on the handoff, and Wildcats were not fooled at all. The Wildcats stacked him up at the line of scrimmage. Stop is made out there by the Wildcats' J.K. Morgan. It'll be third down and 6 yards to go. Loss of a yard on the play.
3rd and 6.
You can hear the PA announcer very loudly barking out that it's 3rd and 6. We're down to 10-11 to play here in this first half. 7-7 is our score. Martin at quarterback. Last third and conversion was helped by an Oak Ridge penalty. Here comes the quarterback wanting to run, and he is going to move the ball forward, but not for a whole lot of yardage. He is going to be stopped again by Oak Ridge's, and it'll be 4th down. It'll be 4th down and about, let's see, maybe not much more than 2 yards to go. Once again, J.K. Morgan there on the stop of the Wildcats, and they're in pretty much 4-down territory. 4th down, 2 yards to go. They've gotten Oak Ridge to jump off sides. Let's see if they try to do that right here.
Yeah, they have Sean Gary out of the ball game, but obviously with 4th and 2, the run's very much an option. I'm surprised they didn't try to substitute Gary back in, David.
Sideline. Here comes Martin. He's going to be under center this time, about a foot behind the center. 4th down, taking a lot of time here. Let's see if they're just trying to draw Oak Ridge off sides and not run a play. They are going to run a play. Handoff to the back. He is hit. He is dropped. He will not get a first down. The defense holds for the Wildcats. So they bounced and round, and the Wildcats make a big stop.
Beautiful gang tackling right there. It wasn't one guy, it wasn't two, it was 3 Wildcats that stacked him up really, really quickly, and he just had no shot of making that play happen. I think that's a play. If Gary's in the game, maybe Gary can stiff arm that first guy and have a shot. I think that's a kind of a tactical error there for South-Doyle, not having him in the game on that critical 4th down. Now, Dave, I'm kind of a risk taker when it comes to football, and I like taking shots. After a big stop like that, even though it's not a turnover, I wouldn't say, hey, young quarterback, why don't you go out there, toss one deep, throw one up to the speedster Brendan Hayward on the outside. Maybe let the cannon show a little bit, Dave. See if you can steal some of that momentum that your defense just gave you.
Yeah, they got to give Sean Gary a blow every once in a while. He's also playing defense for him. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. Wildcats at their own 38-yard line in a 7-7 ball game. Hayden's going to pass. Wide open man. Can't make the catch. Out of the backfield. Pass was intended for the Wildcats. Xavier James, 5'7", 155-pounder, might have slightly underthrew him, but he was open. That would have gone for big yardage. They had an isolation over there with Swaggerty, but the pass just a little short. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was one Peyton. If he had to do it again, it wasn't perfect pass, but certainly one that Mr. James on the outside probably should have had. And like you said, he had a lot of green grass in front of him.
Hayden Tarwater, quarterback for the Wildcats. Hayden is 5'11", 160-pounder. He's going to move the ball forward for not much yardage at all. In fact, he's going to lose a yard as they try to hand it off to DeJavis Dozier, and he just didn't get a whole lot of yardage at all. I think the Wildcats, honestly, the way it looks to me, I think we can throw on these guys. Running the ball between the tackles was successful early on, but the Wildcats again faced with 3rd and long, 3rd down, 10 yards to go.
I think you're right, David. They're giving wide receivers on the outside. I think they respect Oak Ridge's speed at wide out because you're seeing 5, 7, 8 yard cushions almost every play. The problem is when it's 3rd and 10, those cushions aren't as valuable as they would have been if you can complete a pass on 1st or 2nd.
Hayden all day to throw, cranks it up long, pass is caught for a 10-back of Oak Ridge, first down, inside South-Doyle territory, all the way down to the 33-yard line. The great part of the play, Alex Myers, the Oak Ridge offensive line, gave Hayden all kinds of time to throw the ball. Here come the Wildcats quickly right back to the line at the 34-yard line of the Cherokees, moving away from Jackson Square in a 7-7 ball game. 7:55 to play in the first half. The Wildcats with Hundley in the backfield along with Hayden Tarwater. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Quick pass. There's Hayward. Makes the catch, breaks the tackle, moves the ball across the 30, all on his own. Picks up yardage inside the 30, down to the 27. He was initially hit, and he just kept driving and picks up positive yardage for the Wildcats.
Yeah, he's a little shaken up, but thankfully he's, momentarily able to get off on his own power, Dave. He's a little bit shaken up, but a couple of great individual effort plays right there as Brian Leffler's out there trying to make sure he's all right. Peyton Sharp's going to come in now, but what a great spot for your young quarterback. You mentioned it. He hung in the pocket 2 plays prior on that big gain to Hayward. That time he gets it right back out. I think for the first time this offense really starting to have a little bit of momentum, Dave.
Let's take a quick timeout. This injury timeout is brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. When you are injured, call Donnie Sharp, 888-5431. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds. Brendan Hayward walks off the field on his own power. Might have just gotten the wind knocked out of him, Alex Myers. 7-7 is our score. The Wildcat defense, after struggling early on, has really bowed and come alive here and has stopped the Cherokees on several occasions. The Wildcat offense with a big pass play a moment ago, trying to retake the lead here. Exciting first half, Alex. As the Wildcat huddle is still taking place right in front of the student section. The student section has swelled to big numbers here on this first ball game. We've had a little bit of rain to start the ball game, but not much going on right now. The Wildcats' score came on a Peyton Sharp interception return. We'll have the complete scoring summary at halftime. Mark Hayes will have the Haste halftime report as well, and we'll probably get old Big Mike Sheehan in the booth with us to talk about Oak Ridge football on the schedule. Next week, the Wildcats are right back here at Blankenship Field. They'll take on the Bearden Bulldogs for the first time in 21 years. Last time we played them, I think Adrian Porter was the quarterback, and that was back in 2000. Here comes Oak Ridge's offense back out on the field. Oak Ridge will have it now, 2nd down, 4 yards to go after the reception by Brandon Hayward. The Wildcats will split out receivers to the right and one far to the left. Cam Barnett, the Wildcats full house backfield. Hundley in the backfield. Quarterback is Hayden Tarwater. 2nd down, 4 yards to go. Hayden's going to pass all day. Now is breaking down, rolls, looks, going to run for his life, looks to run, moves the ball up the field and moves the ball close to the 25-yard line. Good play by Hayden just to elude the sack, and it'll be 3rd down facing the Wildcats.
Yeah, Dave, he ran about 20 yards right there just to get about a yard and avoid the sack. It was a great effort. I liked the play. It was a well-designed play, but you got to just tip your cap to South-Doyle's defense. Their secondary, they held their ground.
Peyton Sharp looks like he's cramping and coming out of the ball game. The Wildcats will substitute another receiver. Peyton has never really played receiver. He's been a quarterback his whole career. He's got to know the routes, but I think he's cramping. It'll be for Oak Ridge, 3rd down, 4 yards to go. We're down to 6 minutes, 33 seconds to play here in the first half in a 7-7 ball game. Lone running back in the backfield is Jaw Hundley. Quarterback, Hayden Tarwater. He's going to go under center, it would appear. Receivers, 2 to the right. He's going to hand it off to Hundley. Hundley moves the ball forward, good spurt there at the end. He moves the ball to around the 23-yard line. Definitely 4-down territory. If they didn't pick up the first down, it's going to be very, very close. It's going to be 4th down and less than a yard to go for a first down.
Yeah, with Hundley back there, I love that play. So many times Oak Ridge is, they don't really go under center very much, but that time they did. It was just a power play off the right guard, and it was a really pretty play. Got an easy 2 or 3 yards. They needed just about 6 inches more than they got. I really wouldn't mind seeing them just run that again or something very similar, because I think Hundley, as powerful as he is, if he gets the ball, I think he'll be able to get that yardage.
4th down, a yard to go for the Wildcats. Going for it, obviously. 5:29 and counting. From the shotgun, once again, Hayden Tarwater, Jaw Hundley in the backfield, 3 receivers to his left. 4th down, and now Coach Gass will call a timeout. Let's take a quick one with them. Oak Ridge and South-Doyle tied 7-7. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 60 seconds. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. 5 minutes, 22 seconds to play here in the first half in a 7-7 ball game. The Wildcats have it 4th down and a yard to go. Ball is at the 23-yard line of the Cherokees. I formation for the Wildcats. Wildcats have what appears to be Marcus Melton in a fullback position. Hayden's going to sneak the ball forward. Didn't get a whole lot. Got a little bit of a push. He's very, very close to the first down. The Wildcat offense is coming onto the field, staying onto the field, and he got just enough for the first down. A little second effort push by Hayden picks up the 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down.
Yeah, Hayden got a little push. They brought Marcus in at the fullback position, and it used to be illegal, but now it's totally fair game for your backs to come in there and give your quarterback a little push. You were right, David. He didn't get a lot, but he didn't need much. He got just enough for a first down for Oak Ridge.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball resting at the South-Doyle 22-yard line. Quarterback Hayden Tarwater. Hundley in the backfield. 3 receivers split to his left. The junior wants to pass. Looks, rolls, gets a block. He's running the ball up the field, moves the ball to the 21-yard line. Not much more than that. Good coverage down the field by the Cherokees. Obviously, it'll be 2nd down facing the Wildcats. What a great crowd we have on hand here. The weather forecast was not great, obviously, and we did have rain at the start of the ball game, but Wildcats and the South-Doyle Cherokee fans have just been enjoying some dry weather since, and good turnout of fans on both sides of the field. Ball's at the 22-yard line, officially a gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9 yards to go as Coach Ellison signals in the play. The Wildcats once again with looks like 3 receivers to the right, including Jaden Williams, 1 lone running back, Tarwater with a receiver to his left. Hundley gets the call, cuts across the way, going to break a tackle. No, not quite. He's going to get barely to the 20-yard line. Will be 3rd down now facing the Wildcats. In the preseason scrimmages, the Wildcats were able to get some running room outside. That time, Jaw just could not get going. It'll be 3rd down, 8 yards to go. The ball just shy at the 21-yard line.
David, I'll have to give, again, just tip your hat to South-Doyle's defense, because everything Oak Ridge has gotten, they've earned. I mean, this defense, they play a little relaxed on the edges, but they really don't give you anything. You have to pretty much earn it, and I think that's one of the reasons you're seeing Oak Ridge's offense really not had many big plays.
3:19 to play, first half, 7-7 the score. Hayden's going to pass, has all day, now might run, turns the ball up the field and goes down. That's probably later on in his career, he probably makes that decision a little bit quicker. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and the Wildcats will go for a long field goal, I assume. I think if he elects to run a little quicker, he might have gotten a little bit more yardage. Instead, it is 4th down and 8, and the Wildcats will indeed bring in Pearson to attempt what appears to be a 38-yard field goal from the right hash. The holder is Marcus Melton. Riley is going to be the long snapper. I'm waiting to see if they're going to signal in a new play. They're waiting either for an extra body to come in, and he's going to come in just a little bit slow. 2:25 to play, 7-7 our score. The Wildcats going for a 38-yard field goal. Melton to hold. And now play is halted and a timeout is asked for by the Wildcats. Just didn't have enough time. We'll hold it right here. Alex, Pearson's got a strong leg. Efren Rodriguez has a strong leg. We'll see what they can do on their first attempt for a field goal here in 2021.
Yeah, they've got it on kind of a little bit on the right hash. It's a very makeable field goal. It's going to end up being 35 or so yard field goal. And seeing them in warm-ups, Oak Ridge doesn't have a guy that's going to get out there and boot it from 50. It doesn't look like, but certainly you're in range right now. And we talk so much about the quarterbacks and these skill position players having nerves for their first game. But Oak Ridge has got a new kicker. Efren's kicked a lot in high-intensity situations, but Efren's not out there right now, David, so you almost wonder, could nerves be a factor on this one as well? Coach Saunders seems to have confidence. We'll see if they can get this, because at the rate things are going, David, 3 points could be a huge deal one way or the other in this game.
Last year it was a 14-0 win for Oak Ridge. Riley Hudson to snap, Marcus Melton to hold, Brennan Pearson to attempt a 38-yard field goal. The snap is bad. Melton has to fall on it, and it goes all the way back to the 40-yard line. So right there, you might have had a little nerves on the part of Marcus Melton. One thing I noticed about Brennan that time, he went forward when the snap was going behind him, and that's a mistake, and the Wildcat defense is going to have to come out on the field. So a few first game mistakes for the Wildcats. Let's see if the Wildcat defense can hold them out the final 2:15 here in the first half.
You almost feel like, Oak Ridge, in order to get some of that momentum back, they're going to have a big defensive play. I mean, that's the only way they've scored this game is on defense. You really love to see some sort of a big play, even if it's not a turnover, maybe a sack or something to get some momentum.
Here comes the run by the running back, and then Ethan Hewitt makes the stop. That is Sean Gary there. The Wildcats make the stop. It's a gain of about 3. Second down, 7. We're down to 2 minutes to play here in the first half in a 7-7 ball game, in a game you're listening to live on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, and prepradio.com. 3 receivers split to the right. Nick Martin, the quarterback for the Cherokees. He's going to pass, back to pass, pressured, goes across the middle, pass is incomplete. Man was wide open. That's the bad news. The good news, the pass was overthrown, and that stops the clock. It'll bring up third down, 7 yards to go. The ball at the 43-yard line. The clock is stopped with 1:40 to play here in the first half.
You talked about Izzy Mitchell earlier on the wide outside corner. He's up top on the screen that time. And David, this is a guy making his first start. He hadn't been perfect, but he did just enough that time. He got beat, but he diverted the wide receiver's route just enough inside that it messed up the timing. If he didn't do that, he's probably still running because he was wide open.
Martin's going to pass, dumps it out of the backfield. Pass is caught. He breaks the tackle. That's Sean Gary. He moves the ball across midfield, picks up a first down. Some broken tackles. Pretty good initial coverage. The Wildcats kind of saw what was happening, but Gary is so strong, he was able to move the ball forward for a first down. The ball to the 44-yard line of the Wildcats. We're down to 1:27 and counting here in the first half in a 7-7 ball game. 2 receivers split to the right. Once again, Nick Martin, a quarterback in Oak Ridge territory. Has the snap, and there might have been some movement at the line of scrimmage. The play is halted with 1:16 to play. Clark Duncan, former Tennessee Vol football player, is the head coach of the South-Doyle Cherokees, was the former head coach at Powell High School. Illegal procedure is the call against South-Doyle. That'll cost them 5. They'll step the yardage back to the 49-yard line, where it'll be first down and 15 yards to go. Gary is the running back for the Cherokees. They've got 2 receivers split to the right, 2 to the left. Nick Martin, a quarterback. He's thrown a pick 6 in this one. We're down to 1:03 and counting here in the first half in a 7-7 ball game. Martin from the Oak Ridge 48-yard line. All day to pass. Breaking down. He's in a little trouble. Avoids a sack. Dumps the pass. His pass is going to be incomplete. Could have been intercepted by the Wildcats. Broken up by Oak Ridge. That one very easily could have been another interception.
It could have, and Price Davis was so focused on his man coming across that the ball hit him. He didn't see it coming, it didn't look like, David. You know, he's a guy that played a lot of wide receiver at Robertsville a couple years ago. It's probably a play he thinks he should have. I've been impressed by him. He hasn't necessarily always made the play tonight, but David, he's been in position right where he's supposed to be almost every play.
Second down, 15 yards to go. Once again, Martin to pass. Pressured, gets away from it. Now he is sacked. He fumbles the ball. Jacob Bourbon's got it. Jacob Bourbon to the 50. Jacob Bourbon to the South-Doyle 49-yard line. The Wildcats have a turnover with 41.6 seconds to play. Big hit by the Wildcats. Jacob Bourbon recovers. 1st and 10, Oak Ridge.
Big Ethan Hewitt did not give up on the play. The quarterback stepped up to avoid Hewitt at first, and instead of hanging his head, he kept moving his feet, didn't stop on the play, and as he started to tuck the ball forward, if this was the NFL, Dave, they might be reviewing it. It's not. It's Oak Ridge's ball with 41.6 seconds just on the positive side of midfield, David. If you're Peyton Sharp, maybe here's a chance to get a little bit of that momentum before you go up those steps for halftime.
You mean Hayden Tarwater. He's the quarterback for the Wildcats. He will be back there for the Wildcats with the Jarvis Dozier as the lone running back. 1st down, 10 yards to go at the 47-yard line. Up Cherokees, 41 seconds to play. A little quick pass is caught. Up the field, moving the ball to around the 42-yard line. Gain on the play of about 7 yards. We're down to 31 seconds to play. The Wildcats will get the ball first in the second half. The Wildcats have the ball at the 42-yard line. Down to 24 seconds to play. 2nd down, 4 yards to go. Movement on the line. Let's see what Hayden can do. Drops to pass. Pressured. Goes across the way. Pass is intercepted. Down the field they'll come. 40. They might take it in for a touchdown. Down the sideline. Along the sideline to the 3-yard line. Into the end zone. And that is a touchdown for South-Doyle with 3.4 seconds to play. Mistake that time by Oak Ridge. We've had 2 pick six in the ball game. This one results in a touchdown for the Cherokees.
You just hate to see that, David, right before halftime, because Oak Ridge, it looked like they were going to try to be able to put something together, or attempt to at least. And like you said, the second pick six of the game, these two defenses have been on it. Both offenses struggling. You just hate to see it right before halftime, David. 3.4 seconds. That's just an absolute killer mentally to have to go into halftime after something like that just happened to you.
And they'll go for the extra point here. 3.4 seconds to play first half. 13-7 is our score. The interception was picked off way up the field. He just got to the South-Doyle sideline and just trucked down the field. Nobody was able to knock him out of bounds. So you're exactly right. A big mistake there for the Wildcats, but this is a new quarterback, brand new quarterback, and he's going to make mistakes, trying to make things happen. Wildcats will get the ball first in the second half. Let's see if they can get the extra point. 13-7 our score. 3.4 seconds to play here in the first half. The Cherokees in a 13-7 ball game. Penalty on the first attempt. Here comes the kick. It's on its way. It's barely up there, but it is good. 3.4 seconds to play in the first half. South-Doyle leads Oak Ridge 14-7. We'll be back with the Cherokee kickoff following this 60-second timeout. In position to return. 3.4 seconds to play. Let's see what the Cherokees elect to do. Let's see if they'll just try to squib the kick here and waste the time and burn it. It's going to be a short kick angling to the left side. It's going to be fielded by Oak Ridge, and he goes to a knee, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over, and that will be the Wildcats. They'll probably just take a knee here, and that'll end the first half. Well, the momentum's kind of shifted, as you said earlier, Alex Myers. The Wildcats, had an opportunity for a field goal. The snap went through the holder's hands. They recovered it, and then the Wildcats with the big turnover. And right now, we've got a 14-7 ball game.
Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow with so little time remaining when it happened, kind of coming out of nowhere. But deep in your own territory, 2.3 seconds. Either hand the ball off or take a knee, and you just have to kind of talk it out at halftime and try to figure a way to come back from it because, although it's tough to think about, like I said, it's a tough pill to swallow what just happened. It's very early in a game that, hey, one play has made a complete difference. So all that means is one more play can do just the same. So you just got to get out of here, be smart with what you do right here, and then just try to regroup at halftime.
Remember, at halftime, we'll have the Haste halftime report. Mark will run down the scoring summary. We'll also have the first half statistics. 2.3 seconds to play. Oak Ridge down 14-7 in this very exciting ball game here at Blankenship Field that you're listening to live on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, and prepradio.com. 14-7 our score. And just like Alex said, I would expect Oak Ridge just to take a knee right here. You don't want to turn the ball over one more time. And as you said, Alex, just go into the dressing room and regroup and get ready for the second half. Oak Ridge will be receiving the second half kickoff. And there's the snap, and that is the end of the first half. 14-7 is our score. We are back here at Blankenship Field. The Wildcats will be receiving the kickoff. 14-7 our score. A slight breeze beginning to fall, or actually blow here. Blankenship, hopefully it doesn't mean rain. They haven't been able to get the ball deep with their kickoffs. Let's see if they try another pop-up. The Javis Dozier standing back at around the 5-yard line. 14-7 South-Doyle, and here's the kick. It's a high, short pop-up kick angling towards their sideline. Fielded on a bounce by the Wildcats. That is Dozier. Dozier moves the ball forward to around the 28-yard line, and that is where the Wildcats will take over. First down and 10 yards to go. Wildcat quarterback tonight is Hayden Tarwater, 5'11", 160-pound junior. The Wildcat offense will have their first possession of the second half. Wildcats only scoring coming on a interception return. The Wildcats would love to get their offense going here on this drive.
Yeah, it would just do numbers for their confidence of this offense, not only for Tarwater in his first start, but also for that offensive line, for these skill position players, and really for the defense to know, hey, if we get stops, this team will go out there and they've got our backs.
First down, 10 yards to go. Here comes the snap. Here comes the handoff. There's a big hole. Moving the ball for a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down across the 40-yard line. That is the Javis Dozier, the sophomore running back. First and 10, Wildcats. And like we saw on the initial drive, the Wildcats got good yardage when they ran the ball up the middle, and that is a 10-bank of Oak Ridge first down at their own 41-yard line. Hayden Tarwater hands it off this time to Dozier. He powers his way forward across the 45-yard line, still driving his legs up to the 47-yard line. A little battle for the ball on the pile there. I didn't see a fumble come out, although they say he did fumble it, and South-Doyle recovers it at the 47-yard line. Very, very unfortunate there, Alex Myers, because the Wildcats have going on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about getting the offense going and trying to get the ground game going, and it looked like they did just that. I mean, they were coming out, they were moving the ball almost to midfield just within 2 plays, and then just like that, you get another gut punch. And this defense is going to have to respond. We talked about it, not just with stops. This defense may have to provide some offense, or at least provide some big plays by way of turnovers or something like that, but already backs against the wall. South-Doyle with it on the plus side of the 50.
Ball is officially at the 46-yard line. 4 receivers for the Cherokee split to the left. They're going to throw it. Lots of pressure. Here comes Oak Ridge. Can't make the sack. He breaks the tackle, does. Martin moves the ball to the 35-yard line. Wildcats obviously had pretty good coverage down the field. No place to go. Martin just tucked and ran the ball for a first down. Ball's at the 34-yard line. Turnovers have been an issue for the Wildcats in this one. It'll be first and 10 South-Doyle.
And their quarterback, he takes it for a first down run right there. He's a big kid, 6'4". He's not real fast, but he's smart because he just gets downfield, doesn't dance around, and it was effective on that play.
First down, 10 yards to go. A little shovel pass. They move the ball forward. That's Gary. He's spinning and breaking tackles. He moves the ball to the 20-yard line. He is a beast of a runner. He moves the ball for another first down for the Cherokees. So you just cannot give good teams the ball, and the Wildcat defense is going to have to try to hold here. They're already down 14-7, 10:35 to play here in the third quarter. They have the ball. First down, 10 yards to go. Ball is at the 22-yard line of Oak Ridge. Once again, Martin will bring them up from the line of scrimmage, as I mentioned, the 22-yard line. And they've gone fast tempo. They're going to move the ball on the ground to around the 15-yard line before the stop is made by the Wildcats. Wildcats make the stop. Price Davis there on the stop. The Wildcats have a lot of young people in the ball game here today, a lot of sophomores getting some playing time. Gain on the play up to the 15-yard line. It's second down, 3 yards to go with exactly 9:52 to play the third period. 14-7 is our score. Martin with two receivers to his right, two to his left. Quarterback fumbles on the play. The ball is loose on the ground. The Wildcats signaling they've got it. We'll have to wait for the officials to tell us. Oak Ridge student section thinks Oak Ridge has it, but I think the officials say, yes, indeed, Oak Ridge recovers. The Oak Ridge defense gets the ball right back. Big play. The snap was initially mishandled by Martin, and then he tried to hand it off. The ball was lost, and Oak Ridge gets a break.
Huge play there, David Clary. Jacob Irvin comes out of there with it, I believe, for the Wildcats. And I was just sitting here thinking, right before that play, you do not want to go down by 2 possessions with this style of offense. And just in the nick of time, Oak Ridge's defense comes up with yet another big play. David, there's no skirting around the issue. Oak Ridge's offense has to start producing a little bit. If nothing else, they've got to at least try to flip the field.
At the 18-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge. Tarwater at quarterback. Play is halted. See if somebody lined up off sides once again. I don't know exactly what the call is. The official comes over, and they're going to say it's a dead ball foul, 5-yard penalty against the Wildcats. Cannot have that. The Wildcats are already sputtering a little bit offensively. Can't give them 5 more yards. It'll be first and 15. 9 minutes, 39 seconds to play third period. 14-7. Delay of game is the call against the Wildcats. Ball now resting at the 13-yard line. Let's see what Hayden can do. Junior quarterback hands it off. That's Hundley running the ball. Gets to the 15, not much more than that. Wildcats have had some success with Dozier up the middle. Wildcats have really not been able to get outside to this point, but you got to figure John Hundley, if he gets free, he can hit that corner because he is fast as lightning. He's the transfer from West High School. Gain on the play of really half a yard at most. It'll bring up second down. We'll call it 14 yards to go for a first.
Yeah, going back a couple plays ago, that delay of game after a turnover, that's not one you see. David, the players were surprised. Everybody in the booth was surprised. They must have started that clock immediately after the turnover.
Second down, 14 yards to go. Tarwater with 2 running backs, has time to throw, goes across the way, pass is caught. Across the 20, to the 25, to the 30-yard line, moving the ball right at the 30. Nice reception there by Brandon Hayward, and that'll move the chains. A 10-bank of Oak Ridge, first down.
And it looks like Brendan Hayward's going to go down here. David, Tarwater did something really smart on that play. It was a full-on rollout to the left. The line, running backs, every receiver on the route, I think, was going to the left. And so many times he's not under pressure. It's very easy to see a receiver like Hayward out wide open and just fling it with your feet not set. As soon as he got ready to throw, David, he squared his body up, set his feet, and delivered a perfect strike, which allowed Hayward, he would have been able to catch it regardless, but because he set his feet and put it on the money, it allowed Hayward to take a 5-10-yard catch and turn it into a first down.
Another cramp for Brandon Hayward. That's the second time Brian Leffler's had to go out to attend to him. He's going to stay in the ball game. Have to come out. The Wildcats have it. First down, 10 yards to go. Down 14-7 with exactly 8 minutes and 41 seconds to play here in this third period here from Blankenship Field. A beautiful night for football for this opening ball game here on FM 92.7, FM 94.7, and prepradio.com. Hundley and Dozier in the backfield along with junior quarterback Hayden Tarwater. Ball is at the 30-yard line of Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats heading towards Jackson Square wearing their all-gray jerseys with Cardinal. Here comes Hundley moving the ball, no place. Drop for a loss. Back at the 29-yard line. He just cannot get outside. credit the South-Doyle defense. They have done a really good job pinching off the corners, but the Wildcats have been able to move the ball up the middle. That time, a loss of a yard on the play.
Yeah, you just have to give the credit that time to the defensive line from South-Doyle. They're big, they're athletic, and they really just got a great jump that time, and they were in the backfield. It was a little bit of a delay, and they were in the backfield really as soon as Hundley had the ball, and he really had no shot. So credit to their defensive, the four up front.
Ball's at the 29-yard line. It'll be for the Wildcats. Second down, 11 yards to go. Tarwater has the play. Going to drop the pass. Pressured. Got to get rid of it. Now he's going to run it. Now dumps it out of the backfield. Pass is dropped. Hundley was the intended receiver. He didn't really expect it to come his way, and he had trouble handling it, and it's incomplete. It'll bring up third down and 11 yards to go. I thought initially Hayden might just tuck it and run, but then he saw Jaw coming out of the backfield. Incomplete. Third down, 11. The Wildcats need a big play right here with 7 minutes and 38 seconds to play in the third period, and Oak Ridge is trailing in this one by a score of 14-7. The Wildcats, once again, will split receivers left and right. The Wildcats, one lone running back, 3 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Tarwater back to pass. Has time, cranks it deep. There's the man. Here's the pass. He makes the catch, baby, at the 35-yard line. What a catch by the Wildcats. Beautifully thrown pass and a great catch.
I was just getting ready to say right before that play, David, they got one-on-one coverage with Hayward on 3rd and long. That's the quarterback's best friend, is having 13 out there on the edge, knowing how reliable he is. Anytime you've got one-on-one coverage, they've flirted around with it many times. If they continue to do that, don't be surprised if they don't go back to him.
Here comes the handoff to DeJavis Dozier. This time the sophomore running back goes no place. Ball is at the South-Doyle 35-yard line. What a beautiful catch, and heavy traffic. Good, really pretty good coverage out there on the play, as the ball is going to be right at the 35-yard line. Officially no gain. Flag was down on the play. Have to check the penalty. Wildcats have had a few too many turnovers. Let's see with this penalty, if it indeed was a penalty. They're looking at it, and now they're going to step off yardage against Oak Ridge. It'll be a 5-yard step off back to the 40-yard line. I didn't see the call there, Alex.
I didn't either, but I wonder if it may have been a false start or something, because it was right at the line of scrimmage on the far sideline is where that flag was thrown.
Tarwater to pass. Pass is going to be batted away and complete. Moving up the Oak Ridge sideline, great yardage on what appeared to be a deflection initially, and the Wildcats have yet another 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down.
David Clare, that was not a deflection. It was a pass to 26 on the outside. Ferrari came by, and it was the old give and go like a basketball play. You don't see that very often, at least not in the middle of a game. That's usually saved for last-second plays, but it worked to perfection that time.
Close to a first down, my apologies. Second down, 4 yards to go. Wildcats will run the ball this time, moving the ball forward and push back at around the 28-yard line. It'll bring up third down for the Wildcats, I believe. We'll put the ball down. 6:32 to play, third quarter. 14-7 is our score. The Wildcats trailing. Alex?
It looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field. I don't know who called it, but both teams are kind of maybe an injury timeout, actually, I think. It looked like Hundley is slow to get up, and now Brian Leffler, he's been a busy man so far. He's going to go out and tend to him at the 30.
Let's take a quick timeout, and this injury timeout is brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. When you are injured, call Donnie Sharp at 888-5431. We'll hold it right here because Hundley comes off the field. He has a younger brother who also transferred to Oak Ridge High School. And we also have another player from West, Elijah Rogers, who has been a little bit injured, but and not able to play initially, but we expect to see him in action a little bit later on in the season here. Wildcats down 14-7. Wildcats looked like they were flirting with disaster. They turned the ball over on their initial drive. But then the Cherokees turn the ball back over, and then we've got a ball game here, Alex. Gonna have a little trouble with Alex's mic there. Wildcats, I see a little bit of lightning in towards the west side of Oak Ridge. Hopefully that won't play in the factor in this ball game. We're down to exactly 6:27 to play in the third quarter. The Wildcats are trailing by a touchdown and an extra point. 14-7 is our score. Going back to just a beautiful throw and catch just a moment ago, which got Oak Ridge out of a hole and put them in this position. The ball is at the 28-yard line of South-Doyle. Third down, 3 yards to go. Wildcats with Dozier in the backfield along with Grayson Hope. Tarwater's the quarterback. He rolls to his right. Might run, fires a pass in the flats. That is caught for a 10-bank of Oak Ridge. First down right at the 15-yard line. Nobody around him. 1st and 10, Oak Ridge.
It just doesn't look like they have an answer for Hayward on the edge, David. If that looked more almost like a zone, I just saw it at the end. But if you put man-to-man coverage with him, as they look like they're going to do again here from the 15-yard line, there's just not much most high school corners can do with an athlete the size, with the skill set of Hayward.
1st and 10, Oak Ridge at the 15-yard line. Tarwater hands it off, moving the ball forward for nothing. Going to lose a yard once again. Dozier was the ball carrier. It'll bring up 2nd down and about 11 yards to go.
It's just so hard for an offense who's struggled to really get and keep any momentum when every single play, it seems like it's every time it's 2nd down, David, it's 2nd and 10. They're not getting many 2nd and 6, 2nd and 4 yards situations. This team is struggling on 1st down, and the reason is the defensive line from South-Doyle has made it almost impossible to do anything from the ground. They've tried out of the shotgun, they've tried under center, nothing's working.
2nd down, 11 yards to go, down to 5:10 to play in the third period. The Wildcats down 14-7. Oak Ridge band making a lot of noise. Down below us here, Tarwater rolls to his left, now comes back to his right. He's got to get rid of it, and is going to be dropped. I don't see, he had no place to go to his left, and let's see if he's okay. Gets up a little slow, delivers an incompletion. It'll be, as they're talking about it, whether he was in the grasp or what, officials talking about it, and it'll be 3rd down facing the Wildcats, but it's like the official's going to step back and say, come over to the sideline and say it's a penalty against Oak Ridge. We've had too many of those, Alex.
Yeah, I think that's a hold, and you know, it's almost been, you hate to see it because we talked about Oak Ridge's offensively. They haven't been able to string a bunch of positive plays together. This drive they have, but it seems like every time you go 2 steps forward with the penalty, there's another step backwards. And so you had it 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, driving all the momentum going your way. And now you look at it, and that's now 2nd and 16 from the 21-yard line. And you almost think, well, maybe let's just throw it up to Hayward again and see if he can make another play, because it does look like he's going to have man-to-man coverage, but this time he's in the slot, so you could see a linebacker come out and help.
2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Dozier in the backfield. Hayden Tarwater to run. Moves the ball. He is dropped. Just not quick enough to get out of there. Got dropped to the 25-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down and long facing the Wildcats. Good coverage again down the field by the Cherokees. Wildcats down 14-7. 4 minutes, 41 seconds to play here in the third period. The Wildcats down deep here. Got to get some points here. The Wildcats had an opportunity for a field goal earlier in the ball game, but were unable to get it done. 3rd down, now 19 yards to go. Tarwater back to pass, cranks it. Pass is incomplete, almost intercepted. It'll be 4th down facing the Wildcats. And looks like we have another cramping situation. It's going to be 4th down and long facing the Wildcats. A little bit underthrown that time, and once again, indeed, we have cramping. I've not seen that much cramping on the South-Doyle side, but the Wildcats have had that going on all night long. 4 minutes, 18 seconds to play third quarter, 14-7 the score. The Wildcats, I don't know, it would be a very long field goal. The last time they tried it, Alex, the snap went through the new holder's hands, and they ended up losing the ball. What do you do here? You just obviously you're not going to punt because it's so deep. What do you do right here?
Well, to me, you go to look at Coach Saunders, the veteran special teams coach that he is, and you say, can we hit it from this distance? Because as bad as that last attempt looked when you didn't even get an attempt off, I think the important thing is just keeping yourself within striking distance of this South-Doyle team. You do not want this game to get to 2 possessions. If you can keep it within 1 possession, just get a field goal here, chip away, because right now it's the defenses that have been dominating. If you can get a field goal right here, get a stop, and all of a sudden you're in position to take the lead. If you go for it, you're really just heaving up a prayer for a jump ball. And to me, if you've got any confidence at all, you go for that. You go for that field goal. But David, I'll say this: I didn't love that call on 3rd down, and it's easy for me to say that. But the reason is, if you take a sack or you do what you did, which is you gain nothing because it's incomplete, you find yourself in this position. If you run the ball, or if you just do something, just an easy, quick out to a completion, maybe it doesn't get you the 1st down, but it puts you in a better position, a more comfortable field goal, or a 4th down position where if you want to go for it, you only got to pick up maybe 5-10 yards instead of now where you'd have to pick up almost at 19 yards. I think you got to just kick a field goal if you've got any confidence.
14-7, South-Doyle in the lead on a pick 6 with 3.4 seconds to play in the first half, and that's held up down to the 4:18 mark here of the 3rd quarter. The Wildcats have the ball at the South-Doyle 24-yard line, but it's 4th down, 19 yards to go. Nice crowd on hand here at Blankenship Field. Next week the Wildcats will be right back here, another non-region ball game. They'll take on the Bearden Bulldogs for the first time since 2000. The last time I remember them here at Blankenship Field, Jacob Snyder caught a 2-point conversion to win the ball game for the Wildcats, and that was over 20 years ago. But we'll take on the Bulldogs at Blankenship Field next week. 7:30 will be the kickoff time, and we'll have the broadcast on FM 92.7. Here come the Wildcats. The Wildcats will send Tarwater back out. It is 4th down, 19 yards to go. They've got to get the ball inside, obviously, the 5-yard line for first. And Tarwater, let's see what he can do. He's got 3 receivers to the left. I guess they have the play they want. They got 1 lone receiver to the right. And it is 4th down, 19 yards to go. Oak Ridge Band is loud down in front of us. Tarwater to pass, cranks it, end zone. There's the man. It is going to be caught for a touchdown. Oak Ridge. The Wildcats score. Tarwater makes a beautifully thrown pass into the end zone. It's 14-3.
Glad to be wrong there, David, but they did it again. South-Doyle is just flirting with disaster, putting 1 man on Brendan Hayward and expecting them to be able to stop him. It hasn't worked yet, and in that situation, if Oak Ridge is going for it, you know it's going to 13. There's no excuse defensively for South-Doyle to not bring some help. Field goal is up and good, and this one's tied, David. Mistake right there from South-Doyle, but credit Oak Ridge, a beautiful pass from Hayden Tarwater.
4:13 to play, 3rd quarter. We're going to take a break. 14-14 our score. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 90 seconds. Not a great kickoff there for the Wildcats. Returned up to the 42-yard line, but the Wildcats are right back in it, and one of the Cherokees is down on the play. Let's go back to the touchdown. It was 4th down, 19 yards to go. I've told people all during the preseason that Hayden Tarwater has a rifle of an arm. He needed it to get the ball in there in the middle part of the end zone, right around the goalpost, and he threaded the needle perfectly, and Brendan Hayward, with those sure hands, makes yet another great grab, and we are all tied at 14-14.
Yeah, David, Brendan Hayward with a great catch. It was a great route, just looked like a simple post route, but there was no help over the top. And so all Brandon Hayward had to do was get leverage. He did that, planted his foot, and when he cut in towards the goal line, he had a step on the defensive back that was trying to guard him, and he never made it up. And like you said, it was a great throw by Tarwater, because at first it just looks like an easy throw, but the gap was not that wide, and he had to throw it out in front of him. He did just that. And you know what? Let's give credit to the offensive line as well, because they've had some struggles at times today, but they gave him a great pocket. If they don't have time to throw, that play never happens.
Cherokees offense back out on the field. First down, 10 yards to go. 4:07 to play in a tie ball game. 14-14 our score, third period. Quarterback is Nick Martin once again. Martin, and there's movement on the line. We'll check the call here. Too many penalties in the ball game for Oak Ridge. Let's see if this one goes against their offense. It's going to be a dead ball foul, illegal procedure against the South-Doyle Cherokees. 14-14 our score from Blankenship Field. 4 minutes, 6 seconds to play third quarter. They'll step the penalty yardage back to the 35-yard line of South-Doyle, where it's now first down and 15 yards to go. Their main weapon is Sean Gary. I think we'll see a lot of him in the final few minutes of this ball game. All tied up at 14. Three receivers split to the left. Martin, the quarterback. He's got one lone running back. Here's the snap. Here's the handoff. It goes to Gary, and Gary is trying to get outside, and he is going to be hemmed in, breaks the tackle, still drives, and moves the ball up to the 37-yard line. One of the strongest runners we've seen at Blankenship Field in some time. We held him in check pretty much last year, but boy, he is hard to bring down. That was the hardest 3 yards he's ever earned, probably.
Number 13, Brandon Hayward.
But it could have been a loss, but he gained 3 yards. He'll bring up second down.
Brings up second.
Moving away from Jackson Square towards the big scoreboard on the north end of the field. Second down, 12 yards to go for the South-Doyle Cherokees. Quarterback back to pass. Across the way, pass is incomplete. Intended out there for the receiver right in front of Joe Gaddis in his 20th season as the head coach of the Wildcats. That brings up a big third down play facing the Cherokees. Alex, big play in the ball game.
It is, and that's what having that penalty, that's why it's so costly, that penalty on first down, because once you miss on second down as well, you've now got third and 12. Sean Gary's out of the game, and now your defensive line can kind of set back, pin their ears back, and rush the quarterback.
Third down, 21 yards to go. Here comes Oak Ridge's pressure. Rolling to his right, looks down the way, pass is incomplete. And the Wildcats will force them to punt. The Wildcats got some heavy pressure in on Martin. Pass was incomplete, and it'll be for the Cherokees, 4th down and 12. And indeed, the Oak Ridge defense has hold, and the Wildcats will get the ball back. Big series of defense for the Wildcats, and you're exactly right about that penalty.
And now they send Hayward back deep to return. And this is where Oak Ridge, if you're Oak Ridge for the first time, really all game, your offense is going to come out feeling like you guys have all the momentum. Remember, Oak Ridge has not had the ball and the lead all game.
Here's the snap. It's good. Here's the punt. It's away. It's a high kick. Brandon calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 30-yard line, and that is where the Wildcat offense will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. Got 3 minutes, 9 seconds to play in the third period. 14-14 our score from jam-packed Blankenship Field, the opening game of the 2021 Oak Ridge High School football season. These two teams played in the state semifinals a year ago, with the Wildcats winning here at Blankenship Field 14-0. That is the Oak Ridge student section down in front of us, making a lot of noise. The Oak Ridge offense hoping to make some noise right here. They scored on their last drive, primarily Tarwater to Hayward. Let's see if they can get other people involved in this one. Cam Barnett will split to the left side for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge will have two receivers to the right, actually to the right, and two to the left here. Here comes Oak Ridge, one lone running back. That is DeJavis Dozier, and once again we've got a flag down. Let's see, we had movement or somebody lined up off sides. They have been called several times on dead ball fouls on the first play, and it's illegal procedure against Oak Ridge. Do not have that. This is a new offense, new play calls. Everything is new about Rodney Ellison's offense. And obviously that's caused some issues for the Wildcats in this one. Wildcats now penalized 5, so now let's see if they can overcome the penalty. It's first down and 15 yards to go. Ball at the 21-yard line. Handoff Dozier. Dozier powers his way up the field, moves across the 30 to the 35-yard line. That was one fine run right up the gut. And another cramp. It might have been Hundley there on the carry, but the Wildcats have been able to run the ball effectively all night up the middle, Alex Myers.
They have, and there was a little bit of a lull late in the second quarter, early in the third, where they weren't able to run the ball. David, I don't know yardage-wise, that probably wasn't the best run of the night, but to me, that was the best run of the night from Oak Ridge, because Huntley really, for the first time, he wasn't touched until he got to the second level. Because of that momentum, how strong he is, he was able to just run over one defender, and it took another one to bring him down. And now this offense is faced with a situation where they haven't had many times, which is a second and short, second and 4.5 yards or so. Now the whole playbook's wide open to you as Hundley comes off the field. It looks like he's going to be all right, David.
Yeah, another cramp. Brian Leffler and the staff are going to have to get these guys watered up for next week's game. It really is not a warm night here tonight, but we have had so many cramps. Wildcats gained 11 on the previous play. Second down, 4 yards to go. Ball at the Oak Ridge 36-yard line. 2:48 to play. Oak Ridge fans making a lot of noise here. Man comes in motion. It's a swing pass out of the backfield. Dropped. Pass was intended for Jaden Williams. Second drop of the night for Jaden. It'll be for the Wildcats now. Third down, 4 yards to go. Got to catch the ball before you run with it. And Jaden, once he gets the ball, Alex Myers, he can flat out fly, but you got to catch the ball.
Yeah, that time there was some space to run had he caught it, but I don't know if that was just a situation where maybe he took his eyes off the ball just for a second to see where the defense was. But you're right, he's got some wheels, you can see it, but you just got to be able to get the ball first, third, and long 4. David, again, the playbook's wide open for you. Huntley's still out of the game, but Oak Ridge really with their whole playbook available.
They're down 4 yards to go. Here comes the reverse on the right side. The Wildcats have running room. They're going to move the ball for a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down across the 40-yard line. Wildcats with a reverse to Jaden Williams, so he makes up for it. A 10-back of Oak Ridge first down.
It was a really smart move by Jaden because, he had some room to the outside, but the defense was starting to gain ground. I think he realized that, and with only needing about 4 yards, he just stuck his foot in the ground and said, hey, I'm not going to get a ton, but I'm going to get enough. He got just enough for that first down. Maybe a young player, a lot of times, will try to bounce that outside. He knew that he needed a first, and he did just what he needed to do.
2 minutes, 8 seconds to play here in the third quarter. 14-14 our score. First and 10 Oak Ridge. Junior quarterback Hayden Tarwater rolls. Fires the pass. It's going to be in. It is caught. He's going to break the tackle. He's at the 25. He's at the 20. He's into the end zone, ladies and gentlemen. Touchdown, Oak Ridge Wildcats. Flags are down inside the 10. The ball just seemed to get into his hands. He takes it in for the score. Will it count? Another great play by the Oak Ridge offensive, throwing the ball in for the score. Might have been a block in the back there, Alex Myers, but a beautiful catch, a beautiful run afterwards.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was a great individual effort by Hayward, and let's just say he was proud of that effort, Dave. About 5 yards before the end zone, the South-Doyle player was closing in, but clearly wasn't going to be able to catch him, and he stuck his hand up. I don't know if he was just waving at him to come on or what, but it's going to be a taunting penalty. Just an unfortunate ending to a really good play, and that's the one he'll learn from. The coaches are already talking to him. Ted Mitchell, Gaddis is over there. He'll learn from that. But David, tremendous individual effort. I don't know that I've seen one half of football from an Oak Ridge wide receiver like this in a very long time.
Mr. T. Higgins had a few just like that as the Wildcat offense has put the go-ahead score on the board. They now lead it 20-14. A minute 51 to play, and Oak Ridge will go for the extra point. 20-14. The Wildcats have come from 14-7 behind. Brennan Pearson to attempt the extra point. Marcus Melton to hold. Here's the ball. It's down. The kick is off to the left side. Is it good? It is not. It is off to the left side. Hopefully that won't come back to bite the Wildcats. They lead by 6, 20-14. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to the station to Brian Bennett. We'll be back to Blankenship Field in 2 minutes. Welcome back to Blankenship Field. Brennan Pearson's kick goes in and out of the end zone, so that's a touchback. The South-Doyle Cherokee offense now finds themselves in the hole, 20-14 with 1:51 to play, and an offense that really relies on the running game might have to think to go into the air here. Let's see what they can do now, down by 6. First down, 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line. Handoff goes, second man through, trying to get wide. Grayson Hope trying to get him down. Oh, he's knocked out of bounds hard right at the 20-yard line. Good defense by Oak Ridge. The Wildcats, all of a sudden, just like that, Alex Myers lead South-Doyle 20-14 in a great ball game.
It's been a tremendous ball game. Both sides have had a lot to cheer for and a lot to kind of put their hands over their eyes at. I've been really impressed. They made a great play that time. You got a couple of youngsters back in this secondary, not used to starting. They have been exactly where they needed to be all night.
Little hand tackle, almost broke a hand tackle there for a first down. He's going to be shy. Gary is. He's going to be tackled officially at the 28-yard line, where it'll be for the Cherokees of South-Doyle High School. Third down, third down, a long 2 to go for a first. Oak Ridge on top, 20-14 as we play here in the third period. 2 receivers split to the right, 2 to the left. Nick Martin is the quarterback. He's going to get the low snap, hand it to the running back, trying to get outside. He moves the ball forward and picks up good yardage and a first down. As he barely got to the 30, he is knocked down at the 32-yard line, but that is enough for a first down. He is so elusive, he is so strong. That young man's going to be sleeping well tonight, though, because he does it on both sides of the ball.
And on special teams, and that's the thing, they haven't had a lot of third and shorts in this second half, David. Because it was third and short, they were able to keep him in the game and remain him as a threat. I think you hit it on the head, David. It's not just his strength. What makes him so special is that he's got the rare strength and also rare quickness and elusiveness. He's just a load back there to get down.
Low snap, they're going to hand it off once again, trying to get outside. Wildcats, you can't bring him down on arm tackles. Flag went down on the play. He does move the ball across the 45-yard line. Let's see if there is indeed going to be a penalty. Nope, they're going to call just a first down. The Wildcats cannot arm tackle this guy. You got to wrap him up and bring him down. It'll be 1st and 10, and they're moving the ball on the ground up to the 47-yard line. We're down to 21 seconds to play in the third period. Oak Ridge on top, 20-14, and a great one here at Blankenship Field. We'll see if this will probably be the final play here of the third quarter. First down, 10 yards to go. Full house backfield, handoff goes number 23 this time. He tries to get wide. The Wildcats make the tackle, but not before he gets across midfield at the 53-yard line. The Wildcats have got to tackle low. They're tackling him high. That is the final play of the third quarter. Got one more quarter of football here at Blankenship Field. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top of South-Doyle, 20-14. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back in 2 minutes. 20-14 is our score. The two teams switch sides, and we're about to play the fourth and final quarter here. They've been able to move the ball crisply up the field a little bit with their running game. Had 1 third down conversion on this drive. They've got 2 receivers to the right. I formation with Sean Gary in the backfield. He's in the I position. They've got what appears to be a fullback. Martin is the quarterback, and he'll hand it off straight up the middle. And great tackle that time. The Wildcats hit him hard in the hole, and you might expect it to be big number 38, Jacob Bourbon, who hits him hard in the hole and stuffed him. And it'll be for the Cherokees. Third down, 4 yards to go. Big play there, right there by Jacob.
It was. You think about it, Oak Ridge has been blessed at linebacker with a couple of Jacobs that have really held that position strong for the last half decade or so, it seems like.
Third down, 4 yards to go. The ball is at the 47-yard line of the Wildcats. Martin, the two receivers to his right. Gary in the backfield with him. Wildcats on a four-man front. Martin wants to pass. Batted down at the line of scrimmage, but the pass is delivered to the 41-yard line, and that is a completion for a first down. I thought it was going to be knocked down at the line of scrimmage, but they make the catch, and that is another first down. Nice catch right off the turf for a first down. They're moving quickly. Here they come to the line. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the Oak Ridge, officially 41-yard line. Oak Ridge in the lead, 20-14, 10:58 to play in the ball game. Martin at quarterback. Gary in the backfield with him. Low snap, he fumbles it, hands it off to Gary, and he runs straight forward and picks up good yardage. Man, he is like a freight train. You know, that could have been very disastrous for the Cherokees, but he just picked it up and just drove forward, ran through a couple Wildcats, and we've got another person down on the play. Take another quick injury timeout. This injury timeout is brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. When you are injured, call Donnie Sharp at 888-5431. It's another cramp. We'll take a quick break. 20-14 Oak Ridge, back in 30 seconds. David Clary, Alex Myers back here, along with Mark and Shauna Haste and a bevy of camera personnel. The Wildcats on top, 20-14. It is now second down, 3 yards to go. For the South-Doyle Cherokees, the ball is at the Oak Ridge 34-yard line. Wildcats in the lead. The game has gone back and forth all night long. Stiff wind blowing now from Blankenship Field. Let's see what their offense can do. Quarterback is Martin. He's gone all the way. He started against Oak Ridge last year in the state semifinals. Here's the snap back to him. He's got time to throw. Going to go deep into the end zone. Floats it up there. Pass is going to be batted away and caught right around the 1 yard line, I believe. Alex, help me out with that one.
No, it wasn't caught. It was incomplete, but they're going to get Oak Ridge's Izzy Mitchell with the pass interference at the 1. And the problem was Oak Ridge fans don't like it because Mitchell, it was just an unfortunate play, David. He shoved the guy right after the ball went by. So the official called pass interference. The problem was Izzy Mitchell's just reacting, thinking that the ball's in play, and he pushes him, but he didn't need to. And it turns what was an incomplete pass into a 15-yard penalty, and certainly another costly mistake from Oak Ridge. We've said that a bunch tonight, David.
You got to think, though, that Izzy didn't know he was going to start this ball game until today at school. Justin Crowley was going to be the starting player back there, but due to contact tracing with the coronavirus, Izzy got the start here, and for the most part, I think he's done okay, considering he didn't know he was going to be a starter. But he's not very big, for one thing, and that is an issue. Wildcat defense, they've held several times. They got a break earlier when the Cherokees fumbled the ball. Timeout is asked for here. Wildcats need another big stop. What a big miss on that extra point.
Yeah, you hope it doesn't come back to haunt you, but as soon as that happens, especially if it's in the second half of a game, you really, as a football fan, can't help but think the worst and go, well, you can see that hurting you, and you really hope it doesn't. But in order for it not to, Oak Ridge's defense may have to make a play or two. I will say this, David, both teams, whether it's been field goal attempts, extra point attempts, or punt attempts, have been very, and I want to stress this, very close to blocking punts, extra point attempts, etc. Oak Ridge nearly blocked one of the first South-Doyle punt attempts of the night. So, you had an unfortunate miss from Oak Ridge, but I wouldn't rule it out that Oak Ridge or South-Doyle, either team really could have a big special teams play in them at some point tonight.
I guess one of the more disappointing parts of the ballgame is the fact the Wildcats continue to have to bring their players out because of cramps. It's been an exciting ballgame, though. Oak Ridge in the lead, 20-14, 10-10 to play in the ballgame. Penalty yardage moved up to the 19. I apologize, I was not able to see that. I was working on a technical issue. Thank you, Alex, for bailing me out on that one. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 19-yard line. They are moving towards Jackson Square once again. First down and 10 yards to go. Quarterback Martin will hand it off. Good running room, lots of running room. That's in the end zone. That is a touchdown. So they score on the left side and have tied the ball game at 20-20, and the Wildcats need to block this extra point or some kind of mistake. Really, really nice run that time for the score.
It was a nice run, and you know, you kind of felt at some point he was going to pop one. But I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, David, most of the people listening to me right now could have probably run that in for a touchdown. It was a tremendous hole. You could have driven a truck through it. No one even got close to touching Gary. As good as he is, a lot of credit on that run has to go to that offensive line. That was a great, great blocking.
Here's the kick. It's on its way. It's up, and it is good. And South-Doyle takes the lead over Oak Ridge. 21-20 our score. 10 minutes to play here in the ballgame. We'll be back with the South-Doyle kickoff in 60 seconds.
A lot of positives, a lot to get better from, certainly. But, you know, I think I'm just curious to see. It's a big moment here for a young quarterback, a lot of new faces on the offense. How do you respond? They responded well after adversity, after halftime. And right here, they get knocked down again. Let's see if they can bounce back up again.
Another short kick's going to be fielded at the 25, to the 30, to the 35. Up to the 40, up to around the 43-yard line. That is a very fine return, and the Wildcats will have it first down, 10 yards to go. Really good return, good field position, Alex Myers for the Wildcats.
It is. Now it's time to take advantage, and I think the guy right there who made that field position happen, Jai Hundley, I think you got to try to find a way to get him involved. I mean, obviously Hayward's been the guy, kind of the star of the game tonight, David, but Hundley on the ground, especially here late in the second half, he's got some momentum going. He's been very good, and he's the type of back that looks to me like he gets stronger as the game goes on. He's playing with some edge to him right now, even though he's going to line up at the wideout position right here.
21-20, South-Doyle leads, 9 minutes, 57 seconds to play. Hayden Tarwater throwing a couple touchdown passes tonight for his Oak Ridge team. He's got 3 receivers in a stack to the left side, and one farther on beyond that. That's Hundley. One lone man here to the right. Nobody in the backfield. Hayden, a little quick pass is going to be caught. Needs the block. Got it. 50, 45. Down to the South-Doyle 44-yard line. That is a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down. I like that play, Alex Myers.
I love it, especially against this defense, because you're having, when you stack that formation like that on the outside with 3 receivers, you automatically got 2 blockers, and South-Doyle's not bringing anybody up against the line, and so you have 2 blockers out in front. You even if they miss their blocks, you've still got a free 5 yards out of it. But unfortunately, it looks like they're going to call a hold after the catch. And so, again, David, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And, you know, it's just hard for this offense. You know, there's no one person doing it, right? It's a group effort, and things just aren't clicking right now. And after another good play, now you've got it back up, and it's going to be 1st and 12.
Ball is at the 42-yard line. Little damage done there, but it was a really nice play. Once again, they'll split that same 3 stack, this time to the right of Hayden Tarwater with Hundley as the receiver. This time they go left, and he's going to have to break a tackle this time, and he does. Gets to the outside 50, 45, to the 40. Moves the ball to the South-Doyle 37-yard line. No flags down. 10 back of Oak Ridge. First down for the Wildcats. Ball is officially going to be put down at the 40-yard line. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go, 9 minutes, 24 seconds to play in the ballgame. The Wildcats trailing it 21-20. Wildcats, Tarwater with Hundley in the backfield. The Wildcats have receivers, 3 of them to his right, 1 lone man, Barnett to his left. Tarwater back to pass. Little screen pass, caught. Moves the ball forward, breaks the tackle, down the sideline, 30, 25. I believe that's Cam Barnett. knocked out of bounds, but not before he gets another 10 back of Oak Ridge. First down at the 22-yard line of South-Doyle. Here come the Wildcats to the line. First down, 10 yards to go, 8:55 to play here. Once again, Tarwater to pass, in trouble, running for his life, cuts to the right, looks, fires, pass, end zone, incomplete. It'll be for the Wildcats. We apologize for those on the radio. The signal has gone dead, and it'll be for the Wildcats now. Second down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats trailing it 21-20 with 8 minutes and 47 seconds to play, and we have yet another Wildcat down on the play. We'll take a quick timeout, this injury timeout. Once again, East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Another cramp. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Second down, 10 yards to go. Once again for the Wildcats, the ball is at the 22-yard line of the Cherokees. The Wildcats cannot make a mistake right here. 8:47 to play. They trail 21-20. Once again, the Wildcats at the 21. Here comes Hayden Tarwater handing it off, and that goes no place. They'll lose yardage. That is not a good play on second down. The Wildcats are now third and long. Tried a little bit of razzle-dazzle with Andrew Pereira, but that was smelled out. He had no place to go. They lose yardage back to the 24-yard line. That brings up a really big play right here. 21-20 to score, 8:25 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats are down. Let's see what Oak Ridge can do. You got to figure they want to go to the He has a couple of touchdowns to his credit tonight. You got Jaden Williams splitting out to the right. The Wildcats will have 2 receivers to the left. Hundley still in the backfield along with the Jarvis Dozier. Well, let's see, a timeout is going to be asked for. Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field. Big play in the ball game. Third down, 13 yards to go for Hayden Tarwater and the Wildcats. Ball is at the 24-yard line. Backfield split, 2 receivers. Has time to pass. Looks. No place to go. Now he's going to have to just eat it. He had no place to go on the short side of the field, and then a late flag comes in, and I'll have to see what that is. It came in so late. Tarwater might have gotten popped out of bounds. It's over on the other sideline here, right at around the 24-yard line. I didn't see exactly what the signal was. They're going to put the flag down at the 30. I don't know if he came across the line of scrimmage. Not exactly sure what he did. I didn't see the signal yet. The official comes over to say that indeed that'll be intentional grounding against the Wildcats. You know, they dropped everybody back deep in the situation there, and because of that, he had no place to go to, and then rolled over to the near sideline with little room, and then just tried to dump it off. Probably should have done it a little sooner. That's why he's in his first start as a Wildcat. So unfortunately now it's 4th and 23, and you're out of field goal range, and yet another timeout is asked for. We'll take it with them. 7 minutes, 55 seconds to play in the ballgame. 21-20 our score. Back in a moment. The Wildcats have it 4th down, 23 yards to go, 7:55 to play. The Wildcats are in punt formation. The punters are Brian Kelly and Jacob Bourbon. Wildcats are going to punt it. It's a high kick. It's going to be short. The Wildcats should down it inside the 5-yard line. And once again, they let it roll into the end zone. That's twice the Wildcats have had it inside the 5-yard line. And another mistake on the special teams. That ball should have been down inside the 5, but it was not. Alex?
You know, it's unfortunate because from a punting situation, Jacob Irvin has been almost perfect tonight. But unfortunately, he's really only got one punt to show for it. as he's gotten 2 touchbacks on balls he's placed inside the 5-yard line that really, no excuse, they should have been caught. But regardless, your defense now once again, they've got to make a stop here. 7:47 to go. Wildcats down by 1.
Hit the extra point. He's going to get the handoff again. He's going to bust through and just drive forward to around the 29-yard line before Jacob Bourbon makes the stop. Wildcats doing their best work, but just cannot get him down. 21-20 our score. I'm having a little trouble with my reception on the radio, so I'm going to continue to talk here. Ball's at the 29-yard line. It'll be for the Cherokees, a gain of 9. They can run out the clock here. The Wildcats need to stop on defense. They missed an extra point. That is the difference in the ball game right now. Up to the line they'll come once again. And once again, it'll be handoff to Gary, and Gary's going to move the ball to the 30, and that is a first down. 92.7 is off the air right now. 94.7 is on. Big first down for the Cherokees. 7:03 to play. They lead Oak Ridge 21-20 on this rivalry Thursday ball game. And Alex, they'll be content to work as much time off the clock as they possibly can.
You're absolutely right. If it comes down to Oak Ridge potentially having a lead at some point in this game, it's important to remember Oak Ridge has 3 timeouts. They can stop the clock. The Cherokees only have 1, so South-Doyle desperately wants to keep this lead.
Hand off to the back, getting wide, moves the ball forward, and moves the ball close to another first down. They are just wearing out the Wildcats, and there's a little pushing and shoving, and that is unnecessary roughness. Wildcats can ill afford to do that. Junior defensive back for the Wildcats, after the play was over, made a cheap play. Their back comes out of the game limping a little bit. You just cannot do that, Alex.
No, you can, and you chalk some of these penalties up and say, hey, it's first game, new offense, new season, this and that. But a couple of these penalties have been made either by players that know better or just situations like that right there, they're just inexcusable. It doesn't matter. It's not like you lined up wrong. It's not like the communication between the center and the quarterback was off. That's just a play. It doesn't matter how long you've played football. You can't make it. You can't make it, David, especially not at this point in the game. And, whichever team comes out of here defeated, they're going to have to look in the mirror, because each of these teams have done more than enough, especially Oak Ridge, to get themselves beat. Now, the good thing is both teams are still in this, but Oak Ridge, there's some of the penalties are excusable, others like that one right there are just not.
At the 39-yard line, the Wildcats trailing in this one 21-20. Gary's still in at running back. The Wildcats could use a turnover. Oak Ridge down by an extra point they missed. 21-20 our score. Martin gone all the way at quarterback. Here comes the snap. The handoff to him, and he's going to get wide and pick up a first down and more as he gets outside. He's just so elusive when he gets the ball. Another nice run, and they move the ball up to around the 47-yard line. Sean Gary once again on the carry. 5 minutes, 56 seconds to play in the ball game, 21-20. Last year, the Wildcats opened up with a less than stellar Hardin Valley team and won 40-0. By far their best competition in a while in the first ball game. And despite the fact they're trailing right now, the Wildcats have played toe-to-toe with this more experienced team. They need a break right here. Ball is going to be put down at the 46-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go. 21-20 is our score. Martin, a quarterback, and he'll hand it off once again for about a couple of yards. The Wildcats make the stop. And I believe that is Ethan Hewitt who picks him up and drops him after a gain of about a yard. I need a little bit of a timeout just to fix my radio situation here. It'll be second down, 8 yards to go. Clock moving, 5 minutes, 33 seconds to play on this rivalry Thursday ball game, the opening game for East Tennessee. And the Wildcats and South-Doyle Cherokees have played a tight, tough one here. 21-20 is our score. Single receiver to the right. They're moving towards Jackson Square. Clock not in the favor of the Wildcats right now. They need a stop on defense. Second down and 8. Handoff goes to the back, and he is dragged down at the 50-yard line. It'll be third down and long facing the Wildcats. Alex, I'm going to let you talk for a little bit.
All right, and I want to point something out. I noticed the cornerbacks at least the one nearest the press box. You're getting used to South-Doyle, and you know the situation, and obviously you know South-Doyle wants to run the ball, but the cornerbacks for Oak Ridge are starting to cheat in. You don't want to let yourself get caught looking and potentially get beat over the top, because Oak Ridge is playing with so many guys in the box so close to the line of scrimmage to defend that run, and that's what they're having to do. So these corners are on an island, David. If they get caught looking in and there's any sort of play action, that could spell trouble.
Here comes the pass. It's going to be caught right at the 45-yard line. And some pushing and shoving, and then another flag goes down. These two teams.
Now, David, if they call this on Oak Ridge, that's horrible. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'll wait. But here's what happened. After the play, Oak Ridge's player took a step forward to try to get out of the way because he was standing on top of the South-Doyle player, like where he was. As Oak Ridge's player tried to step forward to get out of the way, the South-Doyle player stood up, felt him, stopped. The Oak Ridge player stopped to try to get out of the way. There was an awkward pause, so then the Oak Ridge player took another step forward, and then the South-Doyle player stood up again, and it was confusion. The Oak Ridge player had his hands up the whole time saying, "I'm not trying to do anything," and the referee saw it and just threw a flag. And if this is on Oak Ridge, there was no malintent there. They're going to call it on South-Doyle. Okay, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They got it right.
So they'll step yardage back, and that is a really big penalty, so it's going to force them, honestly, to pick up a long third down conversion. Wildcats need to stop here, obviously, to get their hands back on the ball with 4:29 to play in the ball game, down 21-20. Oak Ridge band has been loud and proud. The penalty yardage is back to the 35-yard line. It is fourth down, 20 yards to go, so they are in punt formation. So Wildcats got to make a clean catch of this punt. Block would be nice. A bad snap. It's over his head. It's rolling inside the 10. Picked up at the 1. He is going to try to throw out of there. The Wildcats are going to get great field position. Big mistake by the South-Doyle Cherokees. The snap went way over the punter's head. And just like that, the Wildcats are going to have great field position. The Wildcats are going to take this one over.
David, that can't be right, because it was a punt formation, and instead of when he went and got the ball, instead of diving on it, he tried to make a play. If he punts it, there's no foul. David, he threw the ball. And if South-Doyle, any of their players cross the line of scrimmage to go downfield, you can't throw that ball. Would that not be intentional grounding? Instead, they called nothing, and their Oak Ridge is taken over from where South-Doyle had it from. Am I confused, or is that not should have been intentional grounding because blockers went downfield, David?
I think it should have been as well, but obviously that's not the way they saw it. That regardless, the Wildcats have got to take advantage of what they have just given us. 21-20 the score, 3:47 to play. Ball is at the South-Doyle 35-yard line. The Wildcats get Hundley in the backfield. The Wildcats will have two receivers to the right. The Wildcats, first down, 10 yards to go at the South-Doyle 35-yard line, down 21-20. And do we going to have another delay of game? You can't have that. That's about the second or third time they're going to call a legal procedure. Wildcats, I know it's a new offense. I know they're just kind of getting set, and you got a lot of new personnel, but you can't make mistakes like that. Let me back up. It is the
David, that's another one of those penalties. At this point in the game, you know, it's not like there was some confusing play. There was a turnover. Your offense goes out, coming out knowing what the play is. You can't do that.
Pass. Now we'll run. Now we'll pass. Brandon Hayward can't make the catch. I think Hayden should have tucked it right there. He saw Hayden coming across the middle, and he got a shot put on him. It's second down and 15 yards to go.
The problem is with these first down penalties, Oak Ridge is setting themselves up with a lot of yardage to go. And David, with the situation, I know you're trailing, but it's under 4 minutes. You've got 3 timeouts. South-Doyle, the last thing they want you to do is run this ball, because if somehow you're able to score doing that, they have very little time and only 1 timeout. Oak Ridge has taken their running game out of the equation because they're setting themselves up with first and second long.
2nd and 15. Here's a pass across. It's complete. Across the 30. Moves the ball down to the 27-yard line. The Wildcats with a reception there. It's shy of a first down by about 2 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 2 yards to go. Nice catch and throw right there. It'll be 3rd down, officially 4 yards to go. 3 minutes, 24 seconds to play, and a timeout is asked for. I got to take a timeout here. We'll be back in 30 seconds. David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, along with Matthew Charles, Alex Waraxa. We've got Neil Patel with us, as well as Grant Walters. The Wildcats trailing 21-20, 3 minutes, 24 seconds to play. They've got it 3rd down, 4 yards to go. The ball is at the 29-yard line of the South-Doyle Cherokees. Wildcats first up need to get a first down, and then need to get into the end zone or a field goal. Any points will do. They're down 1 here. Let's see what Hayden can do. Single receiver to the right side. Tarwater, 3 receivers to his left. Back to pass, pressured, fires, pass, battling for it. Overthrown, incomplete. It's 4th down now. That play was not open. Hayden looked in that direction on the sideline, and now it comes down to one play. That was not a great decision there by Hayden. That pass was not open.
No, it wasn't, and you knew you were in 4-down territory, Dave. It's too far, and you can't punt at this point in the game. I almost would have loved to have seen a run there. I know it's late in the game, but Jai Hunley is got to be fairly fresh. He's not been used hardly at all here in the 4th quarter, and they're going to be a timeout from Oak Ridge.
We're down to 3 minutes and 9 seconds to play here. The Wildcats sneak over to Mark's computer and see how many yards passing Hayden Tarwater has in his first start as the Wildcats. He came in with only 125 yards total in his career, and I know he's surpassed that. He's had a fine night passing the Wildcat running game. Of course, Wildcats have not been without their the guys expected to be pretty good. Kendall Jackson didn't play, and hopefully he'll play later. But right now, the Wildcats have it, let's see, 4th down, 4 yards to go. Play the ball game at the 29-yard line. Wildcats could have kind of saved that timeout maybe if they had to do it on defense, but I guess if they don't get the right play, it doesn't matter anyway, because there's only 3:09 to play, and Tarwater's got to make a play right here. Hundley is in the backfield.
He's got 263 yards, David.
3rd down, 4 yards to go. 3 receivers to his left. Here's the snap. Pressure. Pass. Incomplete. And the ball is turned over on downs. That's back-to-back plays where we just didn't have much room there. I know what he wanted to do. He wanted to go to Brandon Hayward, but he just was not open. Credit the South-Doyle defense. They knew who we were going to. It'll be now up to the Oak Ridge defense to somehow miraculously get another turnover.
Yeah, they're going to need to have a stop. A first down would be really, really tough to come back from, David. And actually, I'll disagree with you. I think Hayward had a little bit of space, and judging by Tarwater's reaction afterwards, he knew that he just missed him. I mean, he threw it just a little too out in front of him. It's a timing route, but Dave, I think he had enough space to get that in there.
Well, let's see what the Wildcat defense can do. They've played well. They trail 21-20. The Cherokees can milk the clock here. A bad snap would be nice. Here's the snap. It's good. Here's the handoff to the running back, and he's going to head to the sidelines and get a first down and more. He's going to be driven out of bounds hard at around the 50-yard line. Wildcat defense has got to be tired, Alex. They have been out on the field quite a bit. 21-20 is our score. Looks like the Cherokees might come away with a victory here on the opening ball game. Only 3 times has a Coach Gaddis team lost in the opening ball game. Once to Farragut, once to Hardin Valley, and I'll ask you, do you remember the other team that beat Oak Ridge on an opening day ball game under Coach Gaddis?
I would have to guess, I remember the Farragut one, I think. I would have to guess maybe Dobbins-Bennett.
Nope, it was the Oakland Patriots way back long time ago. There's a great run. The Wildcats still can't get him down. Trying to strip the ball away. They're all the way down to the 35-yard line. 2 minutes, 46 seconds to play. The Wildcats down 21-20. So a missed extra point might and should or could prove the difference here, unfortunately, for the Wildcats. And you got a new kicker in there. And unfortunately, the snap was a little bad on that one. Wildcat defense, I think, has played well, considering how strong and big Gary is and how inexperienced the Oak Ridge defensive line is. I think the Wildcats have done a pretty good job. They might not win the ball game, but I'm pleased with what I have seen. It'll be for the Cherokees, first down, 10 yards to go, 2 minutes, 26 seconds to play in the ball game, 21-20 the score. Quarterback's running it himself, and he is tackled by Jacob Bourbon. Play is halted at that moment with 2 minutes and 13 seconds to play, and the clock is moving. 21-20 the score. Grayson Hope there on the stop. 2:06 to play, 2nd and 11.
And Oak Ridge still with 2 timeouts left, electing not to take one there. You've got South-Doyle in a 2nd and long, but Gary's back into the ball game. You almost think if you can get a stop here, you got to use that 2nd timeout just to try to see if there's a miracle, something left in there, some Blankenship magic.
I think the Wildcats only have 1 timeout remaining. Minute 36 to play here. Martin and whistle blows, and going to have either a timeout or a delay a game this time on the Cherokees, and that's going to be the case. It is going to be a penalty against South-Doyle. We're down to a minute 33 to play in the ball game. 21-20 is our score. At the conclusion of the ball game, we'll have the final stats. We'll have a scoring summary. Coach Joe Gaddis as well. The Wildcats trailing 21-20 as we broadcast on the opening ball game of the 2021 season, a rematch of last year's state semifinal round ball game. 2nd down, 16 yards to go for the Cherokees. Here comes the handoff, and the ball carrier cuts to the outside, and once again breaks an arm tackle or two, and that hit would appear to be after a first down. Let's see. He goes out of bounds. We're down to a minute to play. One good thing, he stopped the clock, I believe, by running out of bounds. It'll be stopping the clock as Jacob Bourbon knocks him out of bounds. We appreciate all the help given to us there. Minute 26 to play for the Cherokees now. It will be 3rd down, and we'll call it 9 yards to go. 21-20 the score. Once again, we need a first down, obviously, to win the ball. To really basically salt the game away. 3rd down for the Cherokees. Martin at quarterback. Long count, clock not moving. He's going to hand it to his right side. The ball carrier is dropped in the backfield. Nice play by the Wildcats, Brandon Hayward. And the Wildcats stop the clock with a minute 22 to play. It's going to be 4th down. So the Wildcats will get their hands back on the ball. Alex Myers.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you're kind of in no man's land. You're not going to kick a field goal. Part of you says maybe they'll go for it. David, if you have any confidence in your punter at all, I think I would just try to pin Oak Ridge back, because they're going to end up having 1 timeout left. With Oak Ridge's offense having struggled mightily at times here in this ball game, I think I would rather them have to drive 70, 80, 90 yards against you versus if you don't get it and you throw an incomplete pass, you're only 60 yards away. I know that I'm nitpicking, but to me, if you're South-Doyle, I think you punt this and just try to force Oak Ridge to prove to you that they can do it.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, you want a team to drive, especially if they don't have any timeouts. Did you find out how many yards Hayden does have in the ball game?
Yes, right, but at the conclusion of the last drive, Mark Haste told me that he had 263 yards through the air.
So a really good first effort for the junior quarterback. That's why you've been saying the Wildcats offense is sputtered a little bit. That's a lot of yardage on the through the air there. That's one of the things that I was going to say is encouraging to me. The Wildcats have been able to move the ball through the air. They do have to work on the ground game, obviously. It is 4th down and 12 yards to go. We've got 1:22 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats are trailing 21-20, and they are indeed going to get in the punt formation. The last time they tried to punt, the snap went over the punter's head. Let's see if they direct snap it to their up.
Don't forget, David, the punter is their quarterback.
4th down, 9 yards to go. Can't jump off sides. Here's the snap. It's good. Here's the punt. He pooches it off towards the Oak Ridge sideline. It's going to go out of bounds at around the 23-yard line. So it comes down to this. Alex Myers, you've got 1 minute, 17 seconds to put together a scoring drive. What will the Wildcats do? Can they do it? Wow, it's coming down to this. Wildcat defense got the stop we needed to. Wildcat offense down by 1.
David, I know this sounds simplistic, but there's a lot of numbers on the scoreboard and the time and timeouts and this and that you're looking and worried about. To me, there's 2 numbers that I would be focused on for Oak Ridge, and that's the number 13. Hayward on the edge. He's been the go-to man all night for anything of distance through the air for Oak Ridge. I think you just try to throw it up to him, let him make a play.
Here comes the pass. It's going to be on the sideline, and it's going to be incomplete. Just a little out of the reach. He was open, though. Not a bad play at all, intended for Brandon Hayward. It'll be 2nd down, 10 yards to go. They would have picked up a good chunk of about 15 yards there, just couldn't make the completion.
Now, and the other thing, Dave, that would have been good is it would have been an easy first down, about a 15-yard gain, and he would have had plenty of time to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Unfortunately, wasn't complete, and here we go, 1:13 left now.
2nd down, 10 yards to go. Once again, a little screen pass is going to be caught. The Wildcats are not going to get a whole lot of yardage there. The play is made on the sideline. 1:04 to play. Didn't get out of bounds. Clock is moving. We're under a minute to go. Wildcats are down to a 3rd down situation. 3rd down and 10. 54 seconds to play. The Wildcats have got to get going. They got to get to the line and get a first down. Gain of 3 on the play. 3rd down, 7 yards to go. The Wildcats are forced to call a timeout. Wildcats didn't get back to the huddle, and I'm going to give credit to these guys. They have played a lot of football tonight. It hasn't been incredibly hot, but they have got to be worn out. Oak Ridge does not have a whole lot of depth on either side of the line of scrimmage. They don't have a lot. A lot of these guys have had to go both ways. They've got to be dead tired. What do you do here? 3rd down and 7? Brandon Hayward. We got to get the ball to him and Hunter for sure.
You know, the problem is if you're going to burn a timeout, you in theory love to do it right after the ball is marked down. And Sid Oak Ridge kind of let about 15 seconds run off before they called the timeout, and you're not getting those ticks back on the clock. Now that, you know, it is what it is at this point, like you said, 3rd and 7, you're still, 74 yards away from the end zone. You got to throw deep. I mean, and I'm not saying you have to throw a streak, but I think maybe a post. You got to get something of consequence, because you got to start moving the ball, or at least throw it near the edge where your receiver can get out of bounds.
3rd and 7, short side of the field. He's going to crank it up and pass, and the catch is not made on the sidelines there. And on the short side of the field, you got more opportunity on the strong side of the field, over towards the sideline. It's 4th down and 7 yards to go. It's going to come down to this. We're down to 40.5 seconds to play. The Wildcats need 7 yards just to continue the drive. And let's see what they can do. The ball is put down and a timeout is asked for. We'll take it with them. 40.5 seconds to play. The Wildcats are down 21-20. We'll be back in 60 seconds. 40.5 seconds to play in the ball game. Apologize for that. The Wildcats are down 21-20. Fourth down, 7 yards to go. Wildcats, when South-Doyle is needed to rise to the occasion, they have. Credit their defense. They are big, strong, they're physical, and they have made plays when they've had to.
You're absolutely right, David. And I know we've talked about Oak Ridge kind of shooting themselves in the foot at times, and that's true. But ultimately, you know, part of the reason they've done that is because South-Doyle's not giving them anything easy. Oak Ridge, you know, we talked about Hayden Tarwater's yardage through the air. He has earned, and this offense has earned every play that they've gotten. This defense has been really, really impressive for South-Doyle.
Fourth down, 7 yards to go. Here we go. Tarwater back to pass. Little rush, fires a pass across the way. Pass is intercepted, and that's going to be a touchdown, and that's going to close it out. Just not enough on the pass. He had to throw completely across his body, and that is a pick six, and that is going to end the ball game. 30.3 seconds to play. That time, Hayden, who's got just a really strong arm, just didn't have enough on it to get the ball there, and it was easily picked off. And to his credit, I'm going to defend him just a little bit. He has had a broken wrist up until about 3 weeks ago and really hasn't been able to get his arm strength up to where it will be at the end of the year. But that pass, he had to throw it just too far across, and that was an easy pick for them. And they now lead Oak Ridge 27-20.
I think you're right, David, but I'll also say part of that was timing, and he waited just a little bit too long. But I don't really put a lot of blame on him there because, you know, it's fourth down, 30 seconds or so left. I mean, you just have to lob it up, right? I mean, in the second or third quarter, that's a decision that you get mad at him for making. But at this point in the game, you got to try to make something happen. And again, credit to South-Doyle's defense, their defensive backfield, their front seven. Everyone has played really well for them. I would venture to guess, Dave, this is probably one of the better teams, but especially one of the better just defenses the Wildcats will see all year.
Most definitely. Wildcats still have time on the clock here, and if he hits the extra point, it's still a touchdown and a 2-point conversion away from a tie. Here comes the hold. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it is good. 28-20. The Wildcats trail South-Doyle. 30 seconds to play in the ball game. We'll be back for the Cherokee kickoff in 60 seconds. Welcome back once again to Blankenship Field. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge down 28-20 on a pick six right there. Wildcats still have time on the clock, so they still have life. 30.8 seconds to play in the ball game. They haven't been able to kick it into the end zone as of yet. The Wildcats hoping for a long return here. A lot of the fans have headed out of Blankenship Field. 28-20 the score, 30.3 seconds to play. We've had 3 pick six in the ball game here today, which is you don't see very often. Here comes the kick by South-Doyle. Officials are about ready, and here it is. It's a high kick, short, right in the middle of the field. It's going to be fielded by Oak Ridge. Moving the ball to the 35, to the 40, up the field to the 45, up to the 46-yard line. The Wildcats had 24.5 seconds to play. Jaw Hundley moves the ball up the field to the 46-yard line, and now Hayden just got to throw it up and hope for a miracle here. We've seen miracles before. 24.5 seconds to play. Wildcat offense on the field. 28-20 the score. The Wildcats trailed 14-7 at the half. Came back to take the lead, 20-14, but it's been all South-Doyle since that time. 28-20 is our score right now. 24.5 seconds to play. The ball is at the 46-yard line. Receivers to the left. Wildcat quarterback is Hayden Tarwater. 2 receivers to his right. First down, 10 yards to go, down 8. Tarwater, not a lot of time. Across the way, pass is going to be caught at the 50-yard line. Wildcats make the stop, and that is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down with 18.5 seconds to play. Xavier James, X, makes the catch at the 45-yard line of the Cherokees. 18.5 seconds to play. Out of bounds he went, stops the clock. 28-20 the score. Tarwater operating, standing on the 50-yard line, heading towards the scoreboard side, the big scoreboard. First down, 10 yards to second down, 8 yards to go. Here's a quick pass, caught and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. 14.9 seconds to play in the ball game. That time, Andrew Pereira was the receiver who makes the catch and the scamper out of bounds. Now at the 39-yard line of South-Doyle. 14.9 seconds to play, and I think, honestly, probably it's time to go into the end zone here because you're not going to have much more time to dink the ball up the field. Hayden back to pass, pressured, lots of pressure. He's got to get rid of it, can't take a sack. He's going to fire the pass in the middle of the field, and I believe he caught it, and that's the bad news because he caught it in the middle of the field, and the ball game in a moment will come to a close. I think the ball game has come to a close, and that is your final score, 28-20. The South-Doyle Cherokees defeat Oak Ridge for the first time ever. It's only the second time the two teams played. Oak Ridge defeated them last year in the state semifinals 14-0, and they fall in this one 28-20. Tough game for the Wildcats. Good opening ball game. You can see what areas of the team you need to work on. Some of the scrimmages they didn't play particularly well, but a few mistakes here and there I think easily corrected. I think the Wildcats will be fine.